Appreciate that, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you live from Williamston. I'm Glenn Dudasek with Colton Wesley and Tom Lewandowski. You are about to watch CAC Red rivalry night here between Williamston and visiting Haslett Vikings. I've been a Haslett guy for 25 years. I've been with Williamston on the sidelines for 25 years. And a lot of memories always in this night. And just probably the game that I look forward to the most throughout the course of the football season, bar none. I love everything about this and to both sides of the house tonight. Just thank you for letting me be a part of your story all these many years. So, guys, you're gonna have it in just a couple of minutes. We'll stand down. Let's listen into the sounds of the stadium. Take a moment and thank our community sponsors for the evening. The Studio Shop out of downtown Williamston, featuring hundreds of Michigan gifts, and Ideal Mortgage Services LLC out of Haslett, your home for the ideal mortgage. You're watching MHSAA Friday Night Football live on LansingTV12.com. All right, technically you're watching the pregame, but you know what I mean. We're all ready. Beautiful night. What a beautiful night. Perfect sky. Leaves are turning. The trains are a little active tonight. So, technical notes, two of them, right? So we are beaming this to you, the magic of outer space. We are on our own wireless connection. So if for some reason the feed drops, just give it a minute. I will get it back going as fast as I can. We don't have Wi-Fi or anything like that out here. It's just us. And then the trains. The trains, like I said, they're active tonight, and they're a little excited with the extra horn honking. So if I mute out the mics, it's probably because the room is shaking. But, if we give those guys a moment just to be a part of a community as they pass through, we welcome them in. 3:30 on the big clock. We're just waiting. I'm going to send you guys over to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason hometown realtors.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Welcome back, everybody. Want to thank our sponsors. And, folks, that's really all we ask of you is support those who support you, and you'll hear their messages throughout the course of the night, as well as messages from the MHSAA. We are part of the MHSAA Broadcast Network. As such, there are certain things we have to do, including the Robert Dowding Group halftime show. I will give you as much of the band as I can. You won't be able to see all the performance, and as you can see, they've got our backs to us, but I know that matters to you guys, so we'll give you as much of the band as I can, and then we'll send you over to the messages. But should be a great game. I would talk more, but guys are going to have all that covered. We're going to turn it over to Tom Colt in just a matter of moments. I will tell you, one of the people in this booth is wearing his Haslett alumni shirt, and it's not me. I have a great Coach Kirsten story. So he and I started in these communities at the same time. I moved up in '99 in Haslett. He took over right around then for Williamston. And we're new, right? We do things a little bit different. I always have. And I wanted to interview one of the linemen, right? Everybody talks to Johnny Quarterback. I wanted to interview a lineman, give him his moment. So Coach Kirsten looked at me, loved the idea, went up to the bus, right? And I was on the outside of this, and he commanded everybody to absolute silence, right? Now, they all thought they were getting in trouble. And then what he did is he called up one of the linemen, shouted him out, and the kid stood up like he was going to get in trouble. And when he told him he was getting the interview, the entire bus erupted, and I've never forgotten that moment. So thank you to all. Again, thank you for the memories. Williamston coming up next. I see that tunnel full. Let's have some fun, folks. Your game coming up soon. I believe we'll have our raising of the flag in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself and those here at the Lansing Herald Media Group, we want to welcome any active service men and women who are joining us tonight or on the archives. Welcome home to the veterans who know not what you've we know not what you've given to your country, but we do thank you for it. And then to the families who support them both, we stand proudly with you. Ladies and gentlemen, your game coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll send it over to Colton and Tom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Williamston, Michigan. This is a big one. Haslett in town. The Vikings taking on the Hornets on LansingTV12.com. I'm Colton Wesley here with Tom Lewandowski, Glenn Dudasik on the ones and twos. And Tom, there is so much on the line here. Aside from the playoff implications and all those things, we'll get into that in a moment. First of all, this is 48 minutes of hate. These two teams, these two towns, they don't like each other very much. As a former Haslett player, what does this matchup mean to the guys on these two sidelines?
I mean, traditionally, this is one of the games that decides the CAAC Red. We saw this in 2021 season specifically. The Red was split three ways. That can happen again, I believe, tomorrow night would be, or not tomorrow, but next week would be the deciding factor for that. But if Haslett pulls out a win against this Williamston Hornets team, it means that Haslett has a chance to split the CAAC Red and get a piece of the pie in the championship. Williamston's focusing on that playoff goal. If they win here again against Haslett, they can get back to the playoffs.
So let's set this scene real quick and talk about those playoff stakes. If the season ended right now before the games tonight, both of these teams would be out of the playoffs. The Haslett Vikings currently number 36 in D4 in the playoff points. The Hornets number 38 in D5. Both these teams have had a difficult schedule. Vikings have losses to DeWitt, Mason, and Fenton. Hornets have losses to Lansing Catholic, Hastings, Mason, and St. John's. So all good teams that these guys have lost to. No bad losses on their schedules, but you still got to win some games to get into that top 32, even with the new playoff point system. The Vikings, as you were saying, still have a shot at the CAAC Red title. That is still in play for them because they'll play St. John's next week. Elsewhere in the Red, St. John's is playing Mason tonight. That game going to kick off at the same time as our game here. If St. John's wins that game, Mason will have one loss, St. John's will have one loss, and St. John's will still be undefeated, my mistake, and the Vikings will have one loss, and the Vikings will have a chance to give the Red Wings that first loss when they play each other next week in Haslett. And if they do, all three of those teams are looking at a one-loss in-conference record and potentially a split title. More importantly, though, for both of these teams, I think, is the focus on the playoffs because the rest of the schedules for both of these teams, they're not easy. In Williamston in particular, they are in 5-alarm fire mode. This is not how they expected this season to go. They do not like looking at a 1-4 record. They are going to have to win minimum 3, if not all 4, of their last 4 games. And other than the game against Eastern, they're playing against 3 high-quality opponents that will be tough to beat.
Yeah, they will. And, I mean, going back to this game usually means a lot. Both of these teams at the beginning of the season would have circled this game as one of the ones that they think matters the most. Haslett circles Mason and Williamston. Williamston circles Haslett and Mason at the beginning of the season almost every year for a chance at the CAC Red. Everyone knows that this game is between two bulwarks of the CAAC Red. And, you know, maybe people say Williamston's having a down year right now, but they're still a real good team.
Williamston will kick off to let this one underway. Adam Gaudreau has the ball on the tee, kicking right to left across your screen, wearing green helmets and all black. Haslett, blue helmets, white shirts, white pants. Squib kick right up the middle, fielded at the 34-yard line by an up back on the far side of the field. That's Colton Clark. He'll get up over the 40 to the 42-yard line, and that is where the Vikings will take over. They did not want to kick deep to Dontrell Dennis and Corey Amakari, and I don't blame them. Those are two of the scariest kick returners in the region. So here come the Vikings. Eric Lardy will lead them out at their own 42-yard line. And you can't talk about the Haslett offense without talking about Corey Amakari. He's got all these Power 4 offers, 57 carries, 357 yards, and 7 scores this year, 59 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win over Fowlerville a week ago. He is the centerpiece of this offense.
Yeah, he is. And, he acts like it too, and Haslett treats it like he is their star player. They're going to lean heavy on him tonight if they want this win versus Williamston.
Shotgun set for Eric Lardy. 11:54 to go in the first. We are just underway between the Vikings and the Hornets on Lansing TV 12. Sending a man in motion. They'll give it to the motion man. Cornelius Malone around the right side gets back up to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. The Vikings are going to try to keep the Vikings are going to keep the Hornets honest by trying to distribute the ball to other players. It's not just going to be the Corey Amakari show.
Well, no, and it hasn't been all season. He's definitely their star player, but they distribute the ball a lot, especially to people like Cornelius Malone. He gets a ton of touches.
Out of the gun again, handoff, Amakari up the middle, finds the hole over midfield. He's got a lane, cuts it outside over the 40, 35, got a block in front of him, down the sideline inside the 20, and wrapped up and dropped by Tommy Pratt at the 16-yard line. That's a gain of over 40 yards. And it'll set up the Vikings in the red zone on this first drive of the game. 41 yards for Amakari on the carry. The Vikings in business early. Two receivers set to the right. Lardy takes the snap. Play action. Throws quick right side. It's caught out there by Dennis. Dennis tries to find the outside corner. Gets up to about the 12-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. It'll bring up second down.
That's a great job from Dennis to find that extra room. He saw that his bubble lane was completely closed off by the Hornets. He bounced it out. He turned around, did a 180, found some room on the right side around the edge, and got about 4 yards there.
In a dual fullback pistol look, Lardy hands it off outside of Amakari, looking for the corner inside the 10, diving for the pylon. And they're going to say he stepped out of bounds first. They're going to spot him at about the 2-yard line. And you got a couple of Williamston guys waving, claiming that ball came out for a touchback. But he stepped out of bounds before he attempted to break the plane.
You have to be real careful there, especially when you're reaching out under contact. That could have been a dangerous play for the Haslett Vikings.
Heavy package in for the Vikings. Looks like they've got an extra lineman in the huddle. Yeah, they got the heavy set out there with 7 linemen. Wildcat for Amakari. Direct snap to him right up the gut. You can't stop that. Corey Amakari into the end zone. Touchdown Vikings. Exactly the way they wanted to start this game.
So that formation in play, it was implemented in the 2022-23 season, specifically for his brother Nakai. That formation's called Big Boys. They sub in their number 6 lineman, the guy that they have on the bench ready to come in for Eric Lardy. Real heavy set and just give it to their best guy and let him make a play.
Jackson Shattucker on to attempt the extra point. Charlie Dutcher will hold. Snap good. Spot down. Kick on the way. It is up. It is good. And the Vikings take a 7-0 lead on the first drive of the game. 10:29 to go in the first. You're watching Haslett and Williamston on LansingTV12.com. I'd like to thank our community sponsors for today's game, the Studio Shop and Ideal Mortgage Services. The Studio Shop in downtown Williamston is where you'll find a creative boutique featuring hundreds of Michigan-themed gifts and offering many services such as screen printing, laser etching, photography, web development, and branding. From up north to downriver Main Street to Motown, you'll find something for everyone at the Studio Shop in Williamston, now with a new location in Howell as well. Ideal Mortgage Services LLC wants you to know it's a seller's market right now, and as a buyer, it's very important to have a mortgage company that's available after hours, on the weekends, and beyond normal banking business hours. Many times offers are due by 8 p.m. on a Saturday, and who will help you then? Ideal Mortgage Services LLC will. Get pre-approved when you need so you can get the best offer in and on time. To learn more, contact Ideal Mortgage Services LLC, 517-339-5300, or go online at idealmortgage.org. Ideal Mortgage Services LLC is your home for the ideal mortgage. So for those of you just tuning in, 10:29 to go here in this first quarter. Vikings lead the Hornets 7-0. A 41-yard scamper by Corey Amakri opened it up, and then he closed the door with a 1-yard plunge on the Wildcat keeper. You can hear the PA calling out the other games going on tonight. It's a big, big week for high school football, week 6 in MHSAA football here in mid-Michigan. Kickoff will be returned up over the 30-yard line by Miles Keener. They got him out at the 31-yard line, and it's now the Hornets' turn, starting from their own 31-yard line.
Haslett's going to really need a big play out of their defensive line if they want to contain Joseph Smith. Williamston's going to lean on Joe Smith throughout this game to manage the time, try to allow Haslett to not have that ball, and really chew as much clock as possible by giving the ball to Joe Smith probably a lot of this first drive and into the second drive.
Caleb Nielsen, the quarterback, out of the pistol. 3 receiver set for him, takes the snap, give to Joe Smith, bounces outside, gets over the 30 down to the 33-yard line. Gain of 2 on the play. And you are going to see this Hornets offense try to mix in the run and the pass. They got a bunch of different guys that they use, a lot of guys that they want to get the football. That is one of their biggest strengths as an offense. Pistol set again. It's Peter Jones, the tight end, in motion. Takes the snap, the give. Smith off tackle, right side, cuts it up over the 35 and ridden down at the 37-yard line. Tackle made there by Dawson Dabler. Gain of 5 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, Dawson Dabler did a great job there. He made that tackle on first down as well. He is going to be the heart and soul of the Vikings defense. They are going to, how this defense is designed, it's designed to bounce it out so Dawson Dabler can make that tackle. And he's going to lead he leads the team in tackles, and he's going to lead the team in tackles in this game, almost certainly.
3rd down and about 3, ball on the 38-yard line. Line to gain is the 41. Offset pistol. Tight end set to the right, fullback to the left. The snap gives it to Smith on the delay, and he's not going to get anywhere. I think that was an option read for Nielsen, and he thought at the last second that Smith might have a lane, but nothing there. It'll be a loss of a yard, and now it brings up 4th and 4 and an early decision for the Hornets. They're going to send out the punt unit.
Heck of a play there from number 79, Greg Miles. He plays left tackle for the Vikings offense. He is one of their best linemen. He's a Michigan Tech commit, and he showed it right there with that stop for a 2-yard loss on Joe Smith. Heck of a play from the big man.
Tommy Pratt set to punt this one away, sends it into the air. Robert Smith will return, calls for the fair catch, and makes it at the 26-yard line. 37-yard punt from Tommy Pratt and no return. Hornets coming up empty on the first drive of the game, and the Vikings will get a shot with it at their own 26-yard line, leading 7-0 here in this first quarter. Football families, is there anything better in life than a good burger and a sudsy root beer? Old Nation in Williamston has the very best burgers made with local beef from Weberville. With a variety of toppings, you can pair an Old Nation burger with a homemade Old Nation root beer. Old Nation has more than just burgers, too. They have daily specials, a kids menu, and originals such as beef pasties and poutine. Old Nation proudly supports local students and schools year after year. Stop into Old Nation for the best food around. 3 receivers for Lardy in the shotgun. Sending a man in motion, that's Colton Clark, sending him back. The give, a mockery, running to the left, cuts it up the middle, over the 20 to about the 22, or excuse me, over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 on the play. Matt Dion was in with the captains today for Williamston, in on the tackle. Two receivers this time for the Vikings out of the shotgun for Lardy. Takes the snap. Keeps it himself under pressure. Gonna get hit. Chucks it out looking for a mockery. Incomplete. That was an incomplete pass, and honestly, a heads-up play from Eric Lardy. He knew he was going down. He saw a mockery right there, and he saw there was no defender in the area, so not a dangerous pass to just try to chuck it out there towards him to avoid the sack.
Yeah, that's a really heads-up play. One of the better plays I've seen out of any quarterback getting sacked in the high school level. That is a very heady play to not have a loss of about 8 and put him back at 3rd and 10. That would have been that's a huge gain of gain of 0, but great job from Lardy to get that pass out.
Grayson Romey, Adam Green, Jason Thibodeau, Landon Bowers, and Greg Miles, the starting offensive line for the Vikings tonight. We have a whistle and a flag. Looks like one of those linemen might have jumped. Never mind. Timeout number 1 called by the Haslett Vikings. 3rd and 4 at their own 32-yard line. You're watching LansingTV12.com. Good to welcome you into our broadcast booth. Tom, this is, as we described before the game, one of the most important games on the calendar for both of these teams. CAAC Red always in play for these two teams, especially this year with Mason maybe not as strong as they have been in years past, maybe looking a little bit more vulnerable on that Haslett sideline. How does that play into the way that you play this game, knowing what is on the line?
You know, as a Haslett player, you really have to give it your all here, especially when you're given a gift like this. Williamston turns over the ball. Williamston punts the ball to you, and you get this opportunity to go up 14-0. In a game like this, where you know how effective Williamston's offense can be, even in down years, you really have to be on your stuff and really strong on your offense and hopefully go up 14-0 if you're a Haslett player.
Two receivers set tight to the right side of the formation for Lardy in the shotgun. Got a tight end facing in on the left, takes the snap, rush comes, throws out there, got a man in the flat. That's a good hit right at the 31-yard line. Pass caught by John Q. Thomas, but nothing there for him. Miles Keener, 61 tackles. One of the leading tacklers in this area, coming up and making a stop. And you're going to hear that name a lot tonight for Williamston on defense. They get the big stop there.
Yeah, Miles Keener is effectively the inverse of Dawson Dabler. They both play that same middle linebacker position, and both defenses are going to rely on that Mike linebacker. Williamston's Keener making that huge play. And on the Haslett side of the ball, Dabler made a couple of plays on their first drive. It's great defense so far out here by both these teams.
Punt is away, spiraling punt, picked up by Pratt at his own 35 up the middle, shakes a man over the 40, and he'll be brought down to the 44-yard line. Good return there from Pratt. And the Hornets will have good field position for their second drive of the game. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching LansingTV12.com.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason hometown realtors.
First and 10 for the Hornets offense at their own 43-yard line after that punt and return. Out of the pistol. Play action. Pitch off to the left here. Here comes Miles Keener up over midfield and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Going to slip down on the on the near sideline here in front of the bench. That track cover they have down there a bit slick, but a nice run there. Gain of 13 and a first down.
Yeah, we talked about it last time we were here versus St. John's. You really have to be careful. It can get pretty dangerous. I've seen from the games that we've done, we've seen quite a few injuries due to the closeness of the proximity of the track if you're not careful. It's a great thing that I believe that was Keener, and then Cornelius Malone on the tackle there didn't get hurt there.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Williamston in business now. Got Tommy Pratt as the receiver here on the left side. 2 receivers set to the right. Excuse me, that is Pratt in motion. Handoff, Joe Smith waiting patiently. Going to get hit in the hole at the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Eddie Osterling. No gain on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, before this drive, I saw Haslett's coach Mims, he's the D-line coach here, had all 5 of his D-linemen that they rotate through, talking to him on the sideline, telling him what needs to be done, and is really going to try to get their D-line play perfect tonight, as I said earlier, to stop Joe Smith in the Hornets offense.
Starting offensive line for the Hornets tonight, Anthony Heinrichs, Bruce Benzler, Kenny Killigren, Vinny Heinrichs, and Johnny Eifert. 3 receivers set for the Hornets. Out of the pistol, Caleb Nielsen takes the snap. Lefty looking, deep ball, right side. Oh, he had him incomplete. Tommy Pratt came open on that sail route on the far side of the field. A little bit overthrown. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Haslett's really got to contain Tommy Pratt. Pratt has the size advantage over Dennis, who was the corner on part of that bracket. So Haslett is, in that specific case, Haslett had him double team between 2 of their better defensive backs. Jonathan Smith's son, Robert Smith, the head coach of MSU, Jonathan Smith's son, Robert Smith. He was the high safety. He's the high safety for Haslett. He's one of their best defensive backs. And then Dontrell Dennis is their best man corner, bracketing Tommy Pratt, trying to contain him.
3rd down and 10. Out of the pistol once more. Got a whistle and a flag. Williamston offense going to be backed up by a false start.
It's going to be a false start on Miles Keener.
3rd and 15 at the 49-yard line. Hornets started this drive at their own 44, picked up 1st down, but haven't been able to move the ball since. Skill group coming in from the sideline. Peter Jones, Caleb Nielsen, Joe Smith, and Tommy Pratt. Power right for Nielsen. Pratt in motion. The snap. Gives to Pratt on the jet sweep over midfield. Turns it upfield. He's got a lot of room over the 40. Down inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. Gain of 19 and 1st down. And when we talk about the Hornets being a diverse offense, being a pro-style offense, and having a lot of guys they want to get the football to, that's exactly what we're talking about. Tommy Pratt, their biggest downfield threat. They just wanted to get the ball in his hands, and on 3rd and long, they just send him out into the flat on a simple sweep, send some blockers downfield, and let him work in the open field.
Yeah, that's a great job by Kirsten, recognizing Haslett's in that nickel package that they brought out there. Realized that there wasn't a lot of there weren't a lot of defenders inside the box, not protecting the run game. So effectively, that was very similar to a run play in action. Just the pass out to the flat, and then Tommy Pratt cut it back up through the middle of the field.
Nielsen out of the shotgun. Quick throw over the middle. Got a man on the slant. 1st down. Down inside the 20 to the 19. Hunter Van Sickler with a gain of 13 yards. And the Hornets are in the red zone. Under 5 to go in the 1st. .445 clock moving here in the 1st. Hornets down by 7, trying to tie the game on this trip. Keener, the receiver, set tight to the right. 2 receivers split out to the left. Pratt and Van Sickler. Nielsen in the pistol, takes the snap. Joe Smith tries to cut it up inside the tackle, but he is hauled down.
Cornelius
Malone.
Oh,
Making a great play right at the 19-yard line. No gain on the play.
sorry I cut you off there, Colton. That was just such a good play. Malone ripped straight under his blocker. Terrific job getting past the blocker, and then did a great job getting at that hips, gator rolling down Joe Smith, who is one of the better running backs at breaking tackles, especially when he gets going downfield. That's a heck of a play from Malone.
3:48, clock moving here in the first. Nielsen in the pistol, got Smith behind him. 3 receivers in the formation. The snap. Nielsen, lots of time, throws. It's knocked up in the air, and it's incomplete. Dontrell Dennis in man coverage got a hand on that ball and punched it up in the air. Another defender came over to try to make a play on it. Couldn't come up with it. A break there for the Hornets. .330 to go. Third and 11. Public address complimenting both the home and away student sections, as he well should. Out of the pistol. The give, once again, Pratt on a sweep, looking for the corner, and he finds it down inside the 10, tripped up at the 5, and shoved out of bounds. First and goal for the Hornets. They'll spot him at the 6, call it a gain of 13. Tommy Pratt, 2 carries, 2 first downs on 3rd and long for the Hornets.
And that's a heck of a play there from Dawson Dabler coming across the field and making that play. We said that we were going to call his name all night on the defensive side of the ball, and Dabler is showing that. That's his, I believe, 4th tackle of the night.
3:22 left in the first. Hornets down 7, knocking on the door. Offset pistol, power right. Miles Keener, the fullback. Nielsen takes the snap, the give. Joe Smith right up the gut inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line. Might have muscled his way down to the 2. Joe Smith having a little trouble getting going here in the early goings. 6 carries, 9 yards.
Yellow flag on the play there, Colton. Far side of the field.
Flag is down at about the 9-yard line on the far side of the field. Looks like whatever it is, they might be waving it off, and they will wave it off. 2nd and goal at the 2. Sun is set here in Williamston. Used to set in the 3rd quarter. Now it's setting here late in the 1st. Gorgeous, gorgeous skies out here, though. I love doing games here in Williamston in part just because of the atmosphere. Kind of away from the town a little bit. Surrounded by the trees. It's just you and the game out here. 3 minutes to go in this 1st quarter. Offset pistol again. Keener, the fullback, set to the right for Nielsen. Takes the snap. Give. Keener, the fullback, right up the gut and into the end zone. The Hornets getting a whole bunch of guys involved on that drive. Tommy Pratt, Joe Smith, Hunter Van Sickler, Miles Keener all getting key touches. And the Hornets go 56 yards and score. We're an extra point away from a tie ball game. Adam Gaudreau on to try to tie this one up. A couple of good kickers in this matchup. Haven't talked about that yet. Snap good, spot down, kick is up. And Gaudreau splits the uprights. But these two teams both have reliable kickers. Very good at PATs. And you don't always get that at the high school level, but these guys are very consistent. You're going to see a lot of multiples of 7 on the board tonight.
Well, yeah, but they're also, when you're talking about Gaudreau and, Jackson Shaddicker and Gaudreau are both very good at field goal attempts. They are probably good from about probably about 35 yards out, 40 yards out, which is very rare for high school kickers. But I think both those guys are about good from a much longer range than what is normally expected from someone at the high school level.
Shaddicker's long, a 44-yard kick. The long for Gaudreau this year is only 22 yards, but we know from previous seasons that his long is deeper than that. Gaudreau to send this one away. Keeps it on the ground. Hops inside the 25, scooped up there. Coming all the way across the field now over the 25, looking for the corners, John Q. Thomas. He'll get wrapped up and dropped at the 31-yard line, and that is where the Vikings will take over. The Hornets very committed to not letting the Vikings kick return team field it cleanly and try to take it all the way.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't kick it deep to the Vikings either when you have John Q. Thomas, Dontrell Dennis, and Corey Amakri back there. All of those guys are terrific athletes. They will outrun your team at most opportunities if they get the ball to them. Haslett's always been good on special teams, and we see that here by how much respect Williamston's giving to Haslett by not kicking it deep.
Yeah, Steve Kirsten said, I do not want that work. I am uninterested in giving them opportunities with those guys in the open field. Motion man for Lardy. Fakes the give to Amakri. Going deep. Wants Dennis splitting the safeties. It is caught. He caught that Dontrell Dennis. He splits the safeties on the post pattern. Lardy saw it immediately, threw it over the top. Dennis bats it around to himself, falls on his back, keeps the ball off the ground, and he's down at the 31-yard line. Gain of 38 on the play. First down, Vikings. They're getting up to the line quickly. Lardy the snap. Give Amakri inside the 30. Lowers the shoulder down to the 26-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5 on the play. Man, can we go back to that catch by Dontrell Dennis? First of all, excellent route, play action. The safety stepped up a little bit too far, and Dennis is too fast for that. If you're still facing the other goal line and you've got Dontrell Dennis going the other way, you better turn those hips quickly because Dennis has the speed, and he splits the safeties evenly right down the middle in a two-safety shell, right down the middle on that post pattern. They find him over the top, and he makes that circus catch to give Haslett a really good opportunity to score on this drive. Handoff outside. Amakri gets inside the 20 and down to about the 19-yard line. Pickup of 7. That will move the chains. 6 carries for Amakri, 70 yards in this first quarter, including that 41-yard run to set up the touchdown on the first drive of the game as the clock moves inside 2 minutes in this first quarter. They've got Cornelius Malone as that in-facing tight end on the right side of the formation. And they're going to give it to him on a little double reverse kind of thing inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. And Haslett likes to use that in-facing tight end. What did you say a couple weeks ago that Haslett calls that player?
The H-back or wing-back. It's definitely, in this case, it's an H-back or a sniffer, just because of the positioning of that player. They call it a sniffer because he is right up behind the guard's butt. And so, funny. Football coaches are funny human beings calling that position a sniffer.
Yeah, they use Cornelius Malone a lot. They're going to give him the ball, and on that case, they give the ball to the running back and then bring Malone back across the formation to kind of a double handoff play to set them up for 2nd down and 4. We got a player down on the field. Per Lansing Herald Media Group and MHSAA policy, we're going to stand down for a brief moment until we can identify the player. You are watching LansingTV12.com. Looks like it was Cornelius Malone who was the injured Viking on the play. And he is walking off, holding his left hip, walking off under his own power. We'll keep an eye on him and get you any updates that we can see. Handoff, Amakri, left side, looking to get outside, inside the 5, looking for the pylon into the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. We talked about him in the pregame. Corey Amakri, he's a special, special talent. They've built this offense around him. And he's shown it why, and he's shown why in this first quarter. 2 touchdowns, 83 yards on the ground. Teams trading body blows in this first quarter. Snap, good spot down. Kick is way up in the air, and it came up short. The rush came in, and Shaddaker tried to get under it a little bit more to beat the rush. Got a little bit too under it, and it comes up just shy of the crossbar. A rare miss on an extra point from Jackson Shaddaker, and the Vikings have a 13-7 lead with 1:14 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's a very rare miss, especially knowing Shaddaker as I do. I've seen him kick in practice, and how Haslett's JV and varsity end practices most days is by setting 3 field goals up for the kicker to make. If they make all 3, you're done. You don't have to run. If they miss one, you have to do 1 down and back, 100-yard down and back. If he misses 2, you do 2 of them. 3, you do all 3. But usually Shaddaker did not miss those. He was always very good at field goals. PATs are even simpler than that. They're way closer and straight on. That's a rare miss for him.
Vikings have a long history of good kickers, with Will King preceding Jackson Shaddaker.
Yeah, and then Brady Drozel was before him, and he was supposed to kick for GVSU this year, but he pulled his hamstring right before the season and didn't end up doing it. But he was their starting kicker for at least a period of time for their fall camp.
Ball's on the tee for Shaddaker to try to send this one away. 2 men back deep for the Hornets. Run up and the kick will bound inside the 20, inside the 10, and be fielded at the 5 by Joe Smith. Smith up over the 20 down the sideline. He's got a lane over the 30, over the 40, and going to be hauled down at the 44-yard line. John Q. Thomas, the first man to catch him. And the Hornets will have good field position once again.
Yeah, you really don't want Jackson Shaddaker having to tackle Joe Smith. And Smith a little groggy getting up. He's running back to his own huddle, but he's definitely feeling Jackson Shaddaker's hit. Wow, what a play from the kicker, laying the boom out like that.
Yeah, Joe Smith walking back into his huddle. Definitely looks a little bit shaken up. Trying to shake out that right leg, it appears. He's going to go to the bench. Looks like that's going to be Jamison Nicolopoulos in at the deep back out of the pistol. Hunter Van Sickler in motion. Nielsen takes the snap, play action, quick throw. Van Sickler wide open, up over midfield. Tries to stiff arm Dontrell Dennis, gets shoved out of bounds after a gain of about 5. Good play by Dennis in the open field. He had no help out there. No one tracked with Van Sickler on the motion. I think everyone was selling out on the run. Van Sickler wide open in the flat. Good read there by Nielsen to get him the football. But Dennis breaks off of his man assignment. As soon as he sees that ball gets thrown, he meets him in the open field and just runs him out of bounds. Really smart tackle from a veteran leader on this Vikings defense.
Yeah, unusually bad communication from the secondary on that last play from the Vikings. That's usually a preaching point for Coach Turner, who's the defensive backs coach, is communicate on that motion.
Out of the pistol, Nielsen play action. Looking deep, single coverage, deep right side. It's incomplete. That's great coverage out there by Dontrell Dennis again, this time on Tommy Pratt. And that is a matchup that we want to see down the field. As a neutral, as someone who just wants to watch a good football game, I want to see Dennis versus Pratt down that sideline all night. Glenn Dudasek was talking about this, our producer, before the game, was talking about how much he wanted to see that matchup, and I couldn't agree more with him. Those are 2 of the most dynamic athletes on the field at any given time. Watching them go head-to-head on a deep ball, that's as good as you're going to see out here in mid-Michigan high school football.
I mean, yeah, Trell and Tommy Pratt, Dontrell Dennis and Tommy Pratt on a go route, that's just man-on-man. That is a 50-50 ball thrown up by Nielsen, and on that play, Dennis got the better, almost picking that off. And Tommy Pratt did a good job at deflecting it out of Dennis's hands, but that is a terrific matchup, as you were saying.
Pistol set to the right, bringing Pratt in motion. This time they'll fake the give to him. Nielsen throws right side, got a man wide open inside the 40 and out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. And now they're going to say he didn't catch it?
They're going to say he was out of bounds, no catch.
I think Miles Keener, the intended target. And they're going to say he was out of bounds when he caught that football to bring up 4th and 5. And you hear the boos from the Williamston fans over on that far sideline. They got a good look at it right in front of the Williamston grandstand. And they all seem to disagree with the call. So 4th and 5, and it looks like Williamson's going to send out the punt unit, despite being at midfield.
I mean, Tommy Pratt's he's also like their best athlete, so they could easily fake this here.
Hornets not putting a lot of guys up on the line of scrimmage, not trying to run in. They're trying to play this one safe. Pratt puts his foot into it. High kick. It'll hit the ground inside the 20 and roll inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 36-yard punt. Tommy Pratt, underappreciated for his skills as a punter. He's one of the best punters in this area. Downs that one inside the 15, and the Vikings will take over there. Missed opportunity for the Hornets. We'll see if the Vikings can take advantage with 41 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's been a good one so far, 13-7 Vikings.
Correction, we'll have that marked at the Haslett 14-yard line.
Robert Smith going to be split out on the far side, matched up with Tommy Pratt out there. John Q. Thomas, the in-facing tight end. Play action, throws left side, got a man wide open in the flat, up over the 30-yard line. Colton Clark, his first catch of the game. He'll be bumped out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot him back at 28, gain of 14 on the play.
That's a strong stiff arm from Clark on that play. He used the Williamston Hornets defender's head as a basketball there. That was a heck of a play. He got all of his force in that and stepped out of bounds under his own power. That's a great play from Clark.
So gain of 13 for Clark on his first catch of the game. 34 seconds to go in this first quarter. Excuse me, that's 34. Andrew Maloney, the in-facing tight end. Play action, Lardy spinning away. He can't spin far enough, though. Too many Hornets. Leading the charge, Jamison Nicolopoulos. Miles Keener in there as well. Big sack for the Hornets. Loss of 10 on the play. And that should take us to the end of the first quarter. We're going to send it off to Glenn in the truck. 13-7 Haslett at the end of one. You're watching MHSAA football on Lansing TV 12.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason hometown realtors.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect for all those involved in the game.
Enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game.
Welcome back for the second quarter here live from Williamston. We apologize for any technical difficulties. Had a little bit of trouble with the broadcast feed at the end of the first quarter, but we've got everything back up and running. Second down and 20 for the Vikings offense at the 14-yard line. Lardy under heavy pressure, going to step up in the pocket, going to get hit, and falls forward to the 18-yard line, gain of a yard on the play. Good pressure again from the Hornets pass rush. It'll bring up third down and long. 11.5 to go in the second quarter. Hornets looking to get a big stop here, but the Vikings deep in their own territory try to set up their offense to the short field. 4 receivers for Lardy in the shotgun. They rush 4. Lardy rolls right, throws out there. It is knocked up in the air. It's picked off by Williamston inside the 30-yard line. Miles Keener picks it off. Eston Thorburn might have got a hand on that. Big takeaway for the Hornets. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. What a break for Williamston. Thorburn getting his hand on it, knocking it up in the air. We saw this on the other end. Dontrell Dennis knocked one up in the air for the Vikings. No one could come up with it. The Hornets get their opportunity, and Keener cashes it in. And now the Hornets can take the lead on this possession. Ball on the 26-yard line. Out of the pistol once again. 3 receivers for Nielsen. Play action. Throws deep left side. Pratt. It's picked off by Dennis. Picked off by Dontrell Dennis. Tommy Pratt was the intended receiver. Dennis takes the ball right back. We got a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Referee's talking about it up at about the 25-yard line. Let's see what the call is. If it's on the defense, Williamston will keep the football. Looks like Williamston's offense is huddling over on the far sideline. And now Dennis clapping his hands in frustration. Looks like that interception's coming off the board. Nothing yet from the officials. Waiting to hear from Cody McDaniels, who's in charge of this game tonight. Face mask on Haslett. Half the distance to the goal, going to be a 13-yard penalty. The interception wiped off the board. A big stop for the Vikings is taken away. And the Hornets will have the ball in the red zone now. Huge break for the Hornets. Dontrell Dennis winning the one-on-one against Tommy Pratt. But it all comes to nothing for the Vikings, and now the Hornets are still in position to score. 3 receivers. Give to Joe Smith, probing the left side of the line, falls forward to the 11-yard line, gain of maybe 1 or 2. Jacob Otke in on the tackle, along with Zach Curtis. Inside 11 minutes to go. Call it a gain of 1 for Joe Smith. Smith, 435 rushing yards for the Hornets so far this season, averaging over 80 yards a game. The Vikings have kept him in check tonight. Just 10 yards for him on 7 carries. And I think that might be one of the reasons why the Hornets have tried to throw the ball so much, giving Dontrell Dennis opportunities to make some plays. Van Sickler lining up across from John Q. Thomas on the near side. Pratt in motion. The give. Smith inside the 10 lowers the shoulder down to the 8-yard line. Gain of 4. That'll set up 3rd down at about 5. Line to gain is the 3. Under 10 to go in this second quarter. Hornets trying to take the lead on this possession.
Haslett's expecting pass here. You can tell they're expecting pass from what I know of their hand signals. So this is definitely a passing down situation for the Vikings.
Offset pistol, power left, Keener the fullback, Smith the deep back. Motion man is Pratt. They're going to give it to Pratt. Pratt splits the defenders inside the 5, down to the goal line. Touchdown Hornets. Another 3rd down. They give it to Pratt on the jet sweep. The Vikings have not had an answer for it. This time he's into the end zone, and we got a tie ball game once again.
Yeah, see, Williamston doing a great job there exposing Haslett's weakness not having that many big bodies out there, they sub out a couple linebackers there, go into a lighter package. Williamston sees that, realizes Tommy Pratt run on the outsides, worked all night. Let's do it again for another touchdown and the chance to take the lead.
Adam Gaudreau with an opportunity to put his team in front with the extra point, made his first one tonight. Van Sickler missed one down at this end. Snap good, spot down, kick is up. It's good. Gaudreau is 2 for 2. And the Hornets take their first lead of the ball game. A 26-yard touchdown drive after the interception by Miles Keener. 14-13 Hornets with 9:25 to go in the second quarter. You're watching LansingTV12.com. Fall is a great time to get your hot tubs and indoor pools ready to go. Cannonball Pools is everything you need at their store located in Okemos on Grand River. Interested in getting a hot tub? Cannonball Pools offers the Michigan-made Nordic hot tubs, affordable, helpful, and friendly. Call Cannonball Pools 517-256-4374 to work with the people who can help you get what you need. Learn about their full support services by stopping in at their store or find them on Facebook by searching for Cannonball Pools. Located in downtown Mason, Keen's Store Company is the store with just a little bit of everything. From fine clothing and quirky candies, Keen's is meant to feel comfortable, friendly, and down home. Open 7 days a week, Keen's is a perfect getaway when needing a little bit of me-time retail therapy. With great customer service and an unparalleled attention to detail, Keen's is where you need to be when you want to be you again. Gaudreau with the ball on the tee. Hornets up 14-13 here in Williamston. Grounded kick, fielded at the 26-yard line by Thomas. Thomas running all the way across the field, trying to find something with his blockers. Cuts it back over the 30, up to the 34-yard line before finally being hauled down. Stephen Bush leading the charge for the Hornets. That's a pretty solid return from Thomas, finding some room there where there wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, it almost was treated like those modern NFL kick returns. It looked very similar to that because when the Williamston players got close, they started to break down and slow down. Haslett players, there were about 5 lead blocking for John Q. Thomas. And, it's very similar to that. John Thomas basically treated that as a run play. That he treated that as a run play when he got down and dirty with those Hornets. And, it really worked out. He got up to about the 33-yard line.
Ball on the 33-yard line. 9:13 to go in the first. 3 receivers for Eric Lardy in the shotgun. He's got a Mockery next to him. Takes the snap. Give a Mockery left side. Finds the hole up over the 35. Lowers the shoulder. Gets the first down. Gain of 11. Dragging a couple of Hornets with him. What an asset Corey Mockery is to this Vikings offense. You can just give him the football and he'll get you something. That time he got him 11 yards and a first down. 9 minutes to go second quarter. Haslett getting up to the line quickly, not wasting any time. 3 receiver set. Thomas, the receiver closest to us on the near side. Giving a Mockery left side. Going to get hit in the hole, only a gain of 1 this time. Mockery's only had 1 other run go for 1 yard in this game so far, and that was a touchdown.
That's efficiency there. That's a real good job from a Mockery, and it shows why he's a 4-star talent.
Miles Keener coming up to make the tackle. And if you're the Hornets, you need guys like Miles Keener specifically, that veteran leader, a good tackler. You need him to be able to meet him in the hole, make some plays to keep Mockery in check. Second down and 9, 8:20 to go second quarter. 14-13 Hornets. Cornelius Malone back out there as the in-facing tight end. Lardy. It's a direct snap to a Mockery. A Mockery shakes a man in the backfield, running around the right side, gets to midfield, and knocked down at the 49-yard line. That's a gain of 6. Vikings are going to try to find creative ways to use Corey Mockery. It makes sense. He's one of the most dynamic athletes in this area. But now it's 3rd down and 4. Line to gain just outside the 45-yard line. With the ball on the 49. 7.5 to go, second quarter. Vikings down by 1. Lardy, the snap, the give, a Mockery. Going to get met and dropped. 57-yard line. Ball comes out after the whistle. They're going to blow that one dead. Ends on the spot on the near sideline. They're giving him the first down, and they're going to move the chains. Keener in on the stop. From up here, it looked a lot closer than the officials indicated. But it's a first down for a Mockery. Ball on the 46-yard line on the Williamston side of the field. Got a good one so far. The Friday night lights are bright. 3 receivers, Lardy shotgun. Man in motion is Thomas. High snap, brings it down for a Mockery who hands it off to Malone, and Malone is met and dropped at the 45-yard line, gain of 1 on the play. They've done this a few times now. It's a third time that they've given the ball to Cornelius Malone. The second time on this double handoff play. First time got 6 yards. This time the Hornets snuff it out. He only gets 1.
Yeah, Haslett's really breaking out this trickery early in this game. It's about halfway through the second quarter, 6:30 left on the second quarter clock. You know, you don't usually expect Haslett to break out the trickery this early. They like to keep it more simple and keep the ball in a Mockery's hands, but they see the need to open up the field and try to keep Williamston honest.
We'll come back to that in just a second. 2 receivers set to the left. Lardy takes the snap. Pump fakes, throws over the middle. Got Thomas inside the 40. Thomas over the 35. Flags fly inside the 30, down to the 26, stumbling down to the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 20 on the play. We'll see what the flag is for. You got some upset Haslett players, so you can only imagine it's coming back. Only the 3rd penalty of the game so far. A big one on Haslett's defense, wiped away an interception earlier. Hornets cashed it in for a touchdown, and now you can see the Vikings walking backwards.
Yeah, they're almost certainly going to go holding here. I know who they're going to. Oh, let's see what the ref calls here.
Ineligible man downfield on the Vikings, and that can happen on a play like that. That kind of breaks a little bit when you're trying to set it up so that there's a screen and there are blockers. When guys are running all over the field, if you have to go to your second or third read, and you could see Eric Lardy on that snap, he kind of hesitates, was supposed to check it down into the flat, it wasn't there. He's looking down middle of the field, finds his second read, and that took so long that guys got downfield a little bit further than the referees liked.
No, that's a designated screenplay. That is a wide receiver mid-screen for the Vikings. I remember this well. The left tackle, left guard, and center peel out, go block downfield, and that's supposed to be a bubble screen. Maybe they're saying John Q. Thomas stepped up over the line. That's the only thing that they could call there.
Handoff a Mockery around the right side down to the 40-yard line. Gain of 10 on the play. We'll get the yardage back from the penalty. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is like he's supposed to the bubble screen on the left side, and because that didn't come open right away, the blockers down the field might have gotten a little bit too far downfield. 5:47 to go, 3rd and 5 in this second quarter. 14-13 Hornets. I want to go back to a point we were making about getting other guys the football. A Mockery already has 11 touches in this game. Handoff a Mockery, hitting the backfield, gets away, running backwards, back at the 47-yard line, loss of 6. The Hornets finally catch a Mockery in the backfield. Peter Jones leading the charge, and now it's punt time for the Vikings. And now you hear the Williamston fans chanting overrated at Corey Mockery, the 4-star recruit. You think these two teams like each other? I don't. Punt is away from Eric Lardy. It'll be fielded by Pratt at the 17-yard line. Pratt up over the 25 down to the 26-yard line. 9-yard return. 38-yard punt from Lardy. Return out to about the 27-yard line is where they're going to spot him. And that's where the Hornets will take over. 4:55 to go, second quarter. Are you looking to host the best birthday ever? Look no further than Launch Trampoline Park. Located in the Meridian Mall in Okemos, Launch Trampoline Park offers a variety of no-stress, off-the-wall fun party packages to meet your party needs. All packages include jump time, private rooms, food and drink, party utensils, and your very own private party host. Have that party that'll keep people talking and create a lasting memory of a lifetime for your child. Book online with our easy-to-use online reservation system at launchlansing.com or call 517-381-7812. Launch Trampoline Park. They provide the food, the fun, and handle all the cleanup while you get all the credit for hosting the best birthday ever. Joe Smith on the give around the left side, picks up 3 yards. Smith's rushing chart, indicative of how tough this sledding has been against this Haslett front seven tonight. 2, 5, -1, 0, -1, 4, 1, 4, 3. Has not been able to break off those bigger runs, try to take some pressure off of the passing game. 3 receiver set. Quick screen left side caught by Smith. He's up over the 35-yard line, lowers the shoulder and out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Gain of about 11 on the play. His first reception, and that might be the kind of thing that helps you establish more of a ground game. This isn't a running play, but it acts like a running play in terms of what it does in defense and what they have to respect.
Yeah, that play is going to be huge, especially for Williamston keeping their play into this game and maybe opening up Joe Smith later in the third and fourth quarters. They really have to get Haslett's D-line to respect the pass, and that will force them to do that.
Smith stepped out of bounds at the 38-yard line on that far sideline. 1st and 10 at the 38. Give Smith, met in the backfield and dropped for a loss of a yard. Under 4 minutes to go in the second. Be sure to stick around for This Week in the MHSAA and our halftime show presented by the Robert Downing Group at Keller Williams Realty. We'll have scores from around the area as well as stats from this first half. Big night in Mid-Michigan High School football. We do have a score update. Mason leading St. John's 20-10. That's a fun one out there in St. John's. We're definitely going to keep an eye on that one as the night rolls on. 3:20 to go here in the first half. Handoff, Joe Smith looking for a lane up over the 40 down to the 42-yard line. A flag will come out. It's going to be a face mask. That'll be the second face mask on the Vikings, assuming that is the call. Joe Smith clapping his hands. It's a good sign for the Hornets. Vikings, a couple of key penalties in this game. Only their third of the half, but each of them have been particularly painful. Got Asher Newman for that. That'll move the ball to the Haslett 43-yard line. Hornets up 14-13 and driving here. They will also receive the third quarter kickoff. So you know that's playing into Steve Kirsten's calculus here. He would love to punch this into the end zone in the dying seconds of the half, take an 8-point lead into the break, and then receive the second half kickoff. Out of the pistol, Caleb Nielsen. Man in motion is Andrew Kirsten. Takes the snap, gives Smith, hit in the hole and dropped. There's no room. Eddie Osterling leading the way for the Vikings, loss of a yard.
Haslett's coach is begging the referees to throw the flag there on that play on number 44 from Williamston, Peter Jones. They thought that he moved when the motion was called by Nielsen. You can hear it boom out from the sidelines. You know, maybe Williamston got away with one there, but it didn't really matter since Haslett stopped it for a loss of 1.
2.5 to go in the second quarter. Hornets in no hurry. Two receivers. Strong pistol set to the left. We got a whistle and a timeout called by the Hornets. Their first of the half. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. You're watching LansingTV12.com, Haslett versus Williamston.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
To help me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
.216 to go, ball on the 44-yard line, 2nd and 11 for the Williamston Hornets. Offset eye power left. Motion man is Tommy Pratt. They're going to give it to him. Pratt going way back into his own backfield, all the way back up to the 44-yard line. No gain on the play. That's the first time that the Vikings have been able to snuff out that sweep from Tommy Pratt, and now it's 3rd down and long.
Heck of a play from Cornelius Malone making the initial contact, slowing Pratt down on that one side. And then Greg Miles, the big man, made that huge play to finish him, running all the way across the field to just crush Pratt. What a play from the big guy.
3rd and 12. Line to gain is the 33-yard line. Hornets again happy to let this clock. They want to be this team with the football in this half, even if they don't score. Pistol set for Nielsen. One receiver on either side. Takes the snap, fakes the give, under pressure, stepping up. Going to get hit, gets away, spinning away to the left side now. Nielsen stepping up, going to take off with it, and slides at the 44-yard line, staying in bounds. Gain of a yard on the play for Nielsen, but he knew the assignment there. He stayed in bounds, so that clock keeps running. Less than a minute to go.
Interesting formation there from Kirsten on that last play. Coach Kirsten had Tommy Pratt line up in the slot there, so it wasn't Dontrell Dennis over him. It was number 10, Darius Dennis, his younger brother, over him. Darius Dennis did a great job forcing him inside, doing a great job jamming Tommy Pratt into the linebacker. And then Dawson Dabler did a great job at just giving Tommy Pratt a big hit at about 5 yards to really negate him. So even if Nielsen wasn't hit, that is a heck of a play from the defense.
So timeout called by the Vikings. Odd choice from Brad Thomas to wait that long to take that timeout. If you're going to take the timeout to get the ball back with time, you could have taken that timeout 30 seconds earlier. So
I don't think he might have not noticed or something.
There might have been something in the defense that he wanted to check, wanted to maybe talk about what they want to do on what might be a punt return. We haven't seen what Williamston's going to come out here with. With only 34 seconds left, they might take a shot, but I doubt it. I imagine it's punt time for the Hornets. At least that's what I would do in this situation. Pin them back deep. Don't give them an opportunity potentially with a short field if you don't get it. Even if you only gave them 25 seconds, that's still more than enough time for the Vikings to do something with that one timeout left as well.
Yeah, but if you're Coach Kirsten, you might be confident enough. They do line up in the punt.
Yeah.
Tommy Pratt is back deep.
This is what you expected. They just hadn't put out their punt team or their offense, so it seemed kind of suspect. They might be thinking about something over there, but they will send out the punt unit as you would expect. Pratt takes the snap, puts his foot into it, high spiraling punt. That's a gorgeous punt. It's going to hit inside the 5 and roll into the end zone. The Gunners couldn't find it in time. That's a great punt from Pratt. Coverage not to its equal. And with 26 seconds to go, the Vikings are going to take over at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, the Vikings yelling Air Force. They know what they're doing. That is the first time I've heard that. That is a new implementation into this offensive system. Air Force, probably 5 wide, you think? I mean,
We'll
26
see.
seconds
With 26
left.
seconds to go, how aggressive do you want to get if you're the Vikings? Right now, you have a 1-point deficit going into halftime. If the Hornets took the opening drive of the second half all the way down and scored a touchdown, it'd be an 8-point game. So it'd still be a one-possession game. So you aren't really, unless the Hornets decided to go for 2, you're not really at risk of falling behind by 2 scores.
Hornets are known for going for 2, though. Coach Kirsten loves to go for 2.
There's always the risk. Personally, I love to see when offenses get their opportunity late in the half. 4 receivers set. Lardy, quick throw left side. It's caught and going to be hit and dropped. A vicious hit. Colton Clark paid for catching that football. Up at about the 23-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 22. Gain of a couple. That clock is winding, and I think the Vikings are going to let this half expire. I think they wanted to see what they were going to give him on that first snap. And when they didn't get much, they decided that they were happy going to halftime. What a first half it has been. It's been fun. 14-13 Hornets at the break. We're going to send it off to Glenn. He's going to handle your halftime, brought to you by the Robert Downing Group at Keller Williams Realty.
Folks, I hope you're having fun wherever you are, wherever you're at. Rivalry night, anything less than this type of game would be a surprise. You know, I'm going to leave you guys here. I can see the Williamston marching band prepping. If you haven't seen the show, it's a lot of fun. I know you're going to have their backs to you, but try to find your players. I can only leave you on this for a couple of minutes, then I got to send you to the half. And, well, I'll stand down, let you guys listen in. This is the Williamston marching band about to take the field. All right, folks, this is where I have to go ahead and send this out to the messages of the MHSAA to the Robert Dowding Group halftime show. Robert Dowding Group of Keller Williams Realty, proudly supporting athletics and students and families across mid-Michigan.
Another entry into the football record book, and the soccer postseason puts foot to ball in just a few days. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Westland John Glenn's James Phillips Jr. returned an interception from one end zone to the other for a touchdown against Wayne Memorial last Friday. Now, if you're like me, when you saw that play or read about it, you thought, is that a record? How many people have done that before in Michigan? And who keeps track of all of that? Well, MHSAA.com has all of those answers and more for all of the sports we sponsor, not just football. In this case, Phillips's pick six ties the record for the longest interception return for a touchdown, 100 yards, set 40 times in history. Birmingham's Tom Tracy was the first to do it against Hazel Park in 1951. The only time it's happened in an MHSAA final was in 1991, when Battle Creek Penfield's Jason Livengood did it against Negaunee in Class CC. All of those interception returns go into the book as 100 yards, even if the pass is picked off deep in the end zone. That's the same for kickoff and punt returns and fumble returns. It's the standard used by the National Federation of State High School Associations and how the MHSAA determines all records. Schools must submit statistics on record-worthy performances, which are evaluated to see if they fit NFHS criteria and MHSAA standards. To see the record book for any of our sports, log on to MHSAA.com. Click on that sport and then click Records. You'll see team and individual records, championship game records, and coaching records. And if you have a record to submit, you can email it to us at records@MHSAA.com. But please be sure to include as much documentation as possible, including a copy of the scorebook, the yearbook, even a newspaper article. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, Midland Owl's Victoria Garces. She was first in the Elite Division at the Shepherd Blue Jay Invitational with a time of 17 minutes 26 seconds. The Allen Park Swim and Dive team, they captured their first Downriver Classic title since 2010, using a strong team effort to win in the 10-team event. And to Colin Lambert of Ogama Heights. He scored the game-winning touchdown with a minute left in a 41-34 win over Clare.
Graduating seniors could qualify for a tuition-free skills certificate or associate degree through the new Community College Guarantee, no matter their GPA or your household income. Or if your child plans to attend a 4-year university or career school, the Michigan Achievement Scholarship Program has them covered. They could get up to $27,500 toward a bachelor's degree or up to $4,000 for career training. Complete the FAFSA to get started at mi.gov/achievement.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
We're on the golf course today, and our approach into 18 has gone from bad to worse. Or has it? Our shot lands in a puddle in the middle of a bunker, which certainly isn't good. But because water in a bunker is an abnormal course condition, we're allowed free relief. We're able to go to the nearest spot of relief, no closer to the hole, and drop within a club's length of that spot, while still playing from the bunker. Or relief can be taken outside of the bunker, no closer to the hole, and within line of shot, but a penalty stroke is added. So you have two options if you find water inside a bunker. Only one requires you to take a penalty stroke. Of course, the best course of action is to avoid the bunkers altogether.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. District play for boys soccer starts Wednesday, October 9th. The brackets for each of the 4 divisions were released on Sunday, and each district is seeded using the Michigan Power Rating. Brackets and team info is all available at MHSAA.com. 32 district winners in each division will advance to regionals, which start October 22nd. The semifinals are Wednesday, October 30th. And all 4 finals are Saturday, November 2nd, hosted at Grand Ledge High School. Division 4 kicks us off at 10 a.m., followed by Division 3 at 12:30, Division 2 at 3:30, and the day ends with Division 1 at 6 p.m. Postseason soccer tickets can be purchased at gofan.co. and you can watch on the NFHS Network. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by the Michigan Achievement Scholarship, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Williamston. Thank you to our wonderful sponsors, the Robert Dowden Group at Keller Williams Realty. This is the halftime show on LansingTV12.com. I'm Colton Wesley. Good to welcome you back into our broadcast booth. We got a few minutes left until the players return to the field, so let's go over some of what happened in that first half as well as some scores from around the area. First of all, in other games, East Lansing on the road at Davison tonight, trailing 14-7 in the second quarter. DeWitt putting the hurt on the Holt Rams 50-0 in the second quarter. Elsewhere in CAAC Red play, Fowlerville leads Eastern 35-0. Sexton leading Ionia 12-0 at the break. Lakewood over Lansing Catholic 21-0 at halftime. Everett leads Grand Ledge 21-6 in the fourth quarter. Charlotte leads Olivet 6-3 at halftime. Potterville over Eaton Rapids 57-0. Fowler leads Pewamo Westphalia 7-3 in a crucial CMAC clash. That game also at halftime. Perry leading Dansville 12-0 in the second quarter. And of course, the game that everyone else is paying attention to in this CAAC Red, the one that folks are refreshing their phones for here. It's 20-10, Mason leading St. John's at halftime in the other crucial CAAC Red clash. Again, the situation. St. John's is undefeated. Mason with one loss. Haslett with one loss. If Mason defeats St. John's, it'll be St. John's first loss. And it'll make things a lot tougher for the Vikings as they try to claim a share of the CAAC Red title. Excuse me, Mason does have one loss on the season, but they don't have any losses in the CAAC Red. My mistake. So Mason needs to lose to St. John's to give Haslett a chance to give St. John's a loss so that all three teams are tied atop the CAAC Red. Glenn, you got all that?
Yeah, I did. And what it means is it's just CAC Red football. You know, every team has their own personality and identity. We're seeing that play out right now. It's interesting watching these different, I don't want to call it different iterations, right? Mason went Final Four state championship. They have new players in, a couple of carryovers. Haslett, we had the Nakia Mockery years. Now it's Lardy and Corey. It's interesting to watch these teams evolve, still under the same guide of their coaches, though. So they still have a little bit of the same feel, but really a different personality across the board.
Well, and now you have a new member of the party. You've got the St. John's Red Wings, who
Welcome
have been
back,
on the outside
by the way.
looking in for the past few years. 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, exploding out of the gate this year. Right now trailing 20-10 to Mason at halftime, but still very much in that game. And I think crucially, the fact that they are in that game, I think proves what a lot of people are still doubting about St. John's. Like, yeah, but you look at their schedule. You look at their schedule. Have they beaten anybody? You look at them, they beat the mess out of the Hornets.
They beat the people who are in front of them.
Yeah, they beat the mess out of the Hornets last week. But, the Hornets that come in tonight, 1-4. Are the Hornets any good?
I think they're better than their record.
Going around. I agree.
And I'm not just saying that. I really do believe that they're better than their record. It's just we knew that the CAC Red was going to tear itself apart, and we're seeing that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that this Hornets team, you look at the teams that they've lost to and the margins by which they've lost, 7-4 to Lansing Catholic and Hastings, lost by 14 to Mason, and then last week, St. John just came and punched him in the mouth. Like, there's no other way around it. And I think that is one of the reasons why people were questioning how good Williamston was or wasn't, was because of how much St. John's beat them by. And now this week you're watching St. John's. They're playing Mason tight, but they're still down by 10 at the break. And Williamston here against Haslett, they're leading at the break. And by a lot of metrics, you might make the argument that they've played better than Haslett have played.
I think so, and that's interesting. So roll back common opponents, right? The common thread is Mason. Okay, so think it through. right? DeWitt stopped Mason. DeWitt stopped Haslett. DeWitt actually is stomping everybody in their path.
Yeah.
But watch, they're on a state championship watch, folks. They're that good.
DeWitt's up 50-0 on Holt in the second quarter.
That was Mason's only loss this year. They've beaten everybody else was to DeWitt. Haslett had Mason down to the last seconds. That game went in overtime. Williamston's beating Haslett. Would it be a surprise to see if Williamston stuck with Mason? No, because that's how the CAC Red is going. It's going to be an interesting second half, Colton. What I was expecting, I really was expecting a little bit more of fly ball. We had Pratt, we had Dennis out there on each side of the ball. These guys are two of the best receivers, not just in the conference, but in the area. They've been quiet. Dennis did have the one big catch, but they haven't gone back to him. Really, it's just been slog ball between a Mockery and Smith.
Let's actually have a look at some of those numbers, and we'll start with the Hornets offense. Only 6 passing attempts for Caleb Nielsen. He's completed 3 of them for 26 yards. On the ground, Joe Smith has had a tough time of it. 12 carries, 22 yards. It's been Tommy Pratt leading on the ground, 4 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. 78 total yards on the ground. But the Hornets offense hasn't been the thing that's really gotten it going for them. They've had 3 possessions of their 5 in that first half, ending in a punt. 1 short touchdown drive, 1 short touchdown drive, right? 56 yards and 26 yards on those touchdown drives. It's the defense. The big takeaway that set them up at the 26-yard line is the reason that they're ahead in this football game. The defense has made some big plays. The interception by Miles Keener setting them up for success. On the Haslett side of things, Eric Lardy, 5 for 7, 56 yards and a touchdown. Dontrell Dennis, 2 catches for 42 yards. And on the ground, Corey Mockery, 108 yards and 2 scores on 13 totes. 167 total yards of offense for the Vikings. But the interception, and they've been inconsistent. They've had 3 and out. They had a drive that ended in a punt near the end of that first half, and they weren't able to get anything going in the last seconds of the half when they had the ball. So the Vikings have been very hit or miss, and I think that finding that consistency in the second half, consistently putting the ball in the end zone, is going to give them an opportunity against a Hornets team that's going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, 2 thoughts here, right? If you added a couple inches of snow and a bunch of mud, we'd be back in 1978. And the other thing is Williamston and Kirsten, they always have rabbits in the hat. You've got to stay aware. And would it surprise me to see them just jackhammer? Just a new score, DeWitt 35-0 over Holt. Sorry if you reported that earlier. First I heard it. But would it surprise us to see them pound the ball with Smith? And hopefully he took a shot, folks. And even if you walk that off, it still hurts. He's still in there, and he's getting beat up. I don't know him personally, but it's hard. These guys are hard, and they hit hard, and it takes its toll. Now, will we see Kirsten just powerball the line to open up Pratt in the backside? Wouldn't surprise me at all.
They've tried to target Pratt twice. Both of those passes have fallen incomplete. Dontrell Dennis has done a great job in coverage.
That dude is so good in coverage.
But you know the Hornets aren't going to go away from that. This is too big a part of their offense. Tommy Pratt, 17 catches, 309 yards, and 3 scores so far this season. He's a guy that they are going to feed with some consistency over the course of the game, and they want to find him down the field. He averages about 18 yards per reception, so he is their downfield guy. He's their field stretcher. That's what they're going to try to use him as. So
Haslett
we'll
knows
see if
that,
they can
though.
open that up in the second half, maybe try to find a way to get him open down the field, maybe try to find a way to get him free, right? Scheme him open with some route combinations in concert with what's going on in the slot.
All right, folks, we've got 12 on the clock. Players are on the field. I'm going to turn it back over to Tom. Colton, thank you for the halftime updates. Your second half coming up next.
All right, let's get into this. Ideal Mortgage Services wants you to know it's a seller's market right now, and as a buyer, it's very important to have a mortgage company that's available after hours, on the weekends, beyond normal banking business hours. Many times offers are due by 8 p.m. on a Saturday, and who will help you then? Ideal Mortgage Services, LLC will. Get approved when you need so you can get the best offer in and on time. To learn more, contact Ideal Mortgage Services, LLC, 517-339-5300, or go online at idealmortgage.org. Ideal Mortgage Services, LLC is your home for the ideal mortgage. Balls on the tee for Jackson Shadaker. His missed extra point is the difference in this one, 14-13 the score. Returned by Smith up over the 20, sheds a man at the 20 up to the 23-yard line, and that is where the Hornets will take over, leading by a point. Tom, welcome back into our broadcast booth. Hornets up by 1. If you're on the Vikings sideline, what are you telling your defense as you try to get another stop out here?
Honestly, the defense has done a very good job so far. Coming into this game, Coach Thomas knew that Joe Smith was going to be the star of the Williamston Hornets show. And the Vikings have done a great job at shutting down Joe Smith. Now the Vikings need to really focus on Tommy Pratt and keep on Joe Smith. If they can get Tommy Pratt shut down, the Vikings should have a good time.
3 receiver set out of the pistol. Play action, quick throw over the middle, in and out of the hands, and picked off, coming the other way. Dontrell Dennis at the 41-yard line. In and out of the hands of Miles Keener. And Dontrell Dennis with the pick. And a big stop for the Vikings.
Love to see that if you're a Vikings fan. Dennis making that huge play, getting that turnover. The Vikings getting the ball on the 42-yard line.
That was a well-schemed play for the Hornets, too. Little play action. Miles Keener wide open on the slant. Would have had some room to run. He couldn't haul it in. And as a receiver, there is nothing that feels worse when the ball pings off your hands and goes up into the air. Everything in you goes, oh, no, oh, no. And it resulted in an interception. Dontrell Dennis making the play. He poked one up in the air in the first half that no one could come down with. But on that play, he was the one who came down with the batted football. We got a flag down at the snap. Probably going to be a false start. Jacob Otke going to get called for that one, and that'll make it 1st and 15 at the 47-yard line. Vikings committed 3 penalties in the first half for 33 yards. Heavy pistol. 1 fullback on either side. Lardy gives a mockery right up the gut. He's got room over the 40, pinging off a defender over the 35, down to the 31-yard line, and being shoved across the 30, the pile pushing down to the 25-yard line. Gain of 21. Corey Amakari just kept the legs churning, and the Vikings are back in business after the penalty, ball on the 26-yard line.
I mean, that's what you love to see out of him. He's doing exactly what the Vikings need him to do.
Up to the line quickly. Another handoff. Amakari up the gut. Steps outside over the 20. Stiff arm inside the 15. Down inside the 5. All the way down to the 2-yard line. 2 carries, 45 yards for Corey Amakari in the first drive of the third quarter to set up the Vikings with 1st and goal at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, those are 2 perfectly designed plays by the Vikings. That last one was, I believe, something they call ghost, and that's basically where the guard pulls and hits that play side end. In the H-back, the tight end pulls around up to that front side linebacker, opened up like the Red Sea, and Amakari found daylight.
Heavy big boys set for Corey Amakari. Takes the snap right up the gut, going to be met in the hole, up to the goal line and in. Touchdown Vikings. Corey Amakari putting on a show, putting the offense on his shoulders, and the Vikings take a 19-14 lead.
That's a great play from Drew Maloney out there. Drew Maloney got a giant pancake block on one of the Hornets defenders. I believe it was Jamison Nicolopoulos, but I'm not sure. Either way, heck of a play from Maloney.
Looks like they're going to go for 2 to try to make this a 7-point game. Haslett student section starting to come alive down there. Another heavy pistol set. 1 tight end on either side for Lardy. Takes the snap. Give a mockery. How are you going to stop that? You're not. 2-point conversion's good. Vikings go up by 7. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. Wake up on the sunny side with Sunnyside Cafe, a family-owned and made-from-scratch kitchen in Williamston where all your meals are made to order. With breakfast all day, you can stop in and get a favorite such as the Country Carol, a biscuit topped with sausage gravy with a sausage patty, 2 eggs, and cheddar cheese. Or try something special like their cinnamon raisin French toast. Sunnyside Cafe partners with Michigan-made businesses and local farmers to provide local ingredients. Nothing fancy, just good food at the Sunnyside Cafe. 21-14 your score, 11:04 to go in the third quarter, and now it's time for the Hornets to respond. The Vikings made a big play on defense. They matched what the Hornets did in that first half, getting an interception in plus territory and cashing it in with a score. Now the Hornets with an opportunity to tie the game with the football here.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out on those, after the extra point, after that 2-point conversion, as it always does, when they have their 11 guys run off the field, Coach Thomas will be the first guy out there meeting them. He stands at the numbers, high-fives every player for that success. Even on a not great attempt, Coach Thomas is out there supporting his players. That's a huge morale booster, and it really shows how good those Vikings just turned around the morale switch on that last 2-point conversion.
Momentum's only as good as your next play. 11:04 to go in the third. Hornets looking for an opportunity here. Tie this thing back up. Good kick by Shattucker. Be fielded by Pratt at his own 10. Pratt up over the 20, angling outside over the 25. Going to get hit and dropped at the 30-yard line. Tackle made by Colton Clark. And the Hornets will start at the 30-yard line. Are you trying to find a place to get your custom trim meats, special orders, and the best seafood in town? Mertz Specialty Meats in Okemos invites you to come see what they have to offer. They have steaks, chops, burgers, and brats. With hard-to-find selections and unmatched customer service, Mertz is ready to serve you. Mertz opens 7 days a week just east of the Meridian Mall on Grand River. 10:57 to go in this third quarter. The mosquitoes starting to come out here in Williamston. Temperature a cool 62 degrees. 3 receivers set. Nielsen in the gun. Smith next to him. Nielsen trying to send a man in motion. Finally, Tommy Pratt gets the message. The snap. The give to Smith around the right side. Doesn't really get anywhere. Gets back up to the line of scrimmage. And the struggles continue for Joe Smith on the ground.
Coach Thomas very animated on that last play. That's a heck of a job from the Vikings front seven. And then Dontrell Dennis did a fantastic job at realizing that was run and fitting into the run support there to stop the Williamston Hornets on a gain of 1.
2nd down and 9 coming up for the Hornets. Hornets in about as much a must-win situation as you can have in Week 6. 1-4 on the outside looking into the playoff picture right now. Pistol set, Nielsen. Takes the snap, drops back, has time, rolls right, looking, downfield, got a man wide open. It's Miles Keener over the 40, holds on to this one, and he breaks the tackle over midfield, inside the 40, one man to beat. John Q. Thomas holds him down at the 29-yard line, but a gain of 42 and a first down. The Hornets, when they need a big play, love to get the ball into Miles Keener. Two-yard touchdown run in the first half, 43 yards on the pitch and catch there. And referee's going to blow this one dead. Haslett going to call their first time out of the half. And we're going to kick it over to Glenn, who's going to run some sponsors.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
To help me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
First and 10 for the Hornets. 3 receiver set. Nielsen in the shotgun with Smith next to him. Man in motion is Van Sickler. Nielsen takes the snap. We got a whistle and a flag. False start on the Hornets, only their second penalty of the game. You're going to get Vinny Heinrichs, starting offensive lineman. 9:51 to go, third quarter. Ball on the 33 line to gain is the 18. Hornets got a big play to Miles Keener to set this up. Hornets opened the second half with a takeaway and a quick score. Hornets trying to match it. 3 receivers. Nielsen in the gun. Smith to his right. Van Sickler in motion again. Play action. Nielsen rolls right, looking deep down the field, chucks it into the end zone, and no one was anywhere near it. And they're going to get pass interference. And I think that's going to be on Andrew Maloney, who I think is the safety back there. Andrew Maloney, they're going to say he prevented Tommy Pratt from coming back to an underthrown football, and that is the DPI penalty that defensive backs hate the most. They're like, what am I supposed to do? You'll hear defensive backs complain about this at every level, but referees are going to make that call at every level. You cannot impede the receiver's progress back to the football.
No, they're giving up.
They're getting ready to pace this one off. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty. And that's a bailout penalty for the Hornets. Caleb Nielsen honestly made a pretty ill-advised throw there. Just kind of chucked it up into double coverage. Dontrell Dennis didn't have his head around. He didn't know the ball was coming in. If he had seen that ball coming, he would have picked that one off easily.
So, guys, from a casual perspective, help me understand why it's a 15-yard walk-off instead of the end zone and why you just wouldn't chuck a guy in the end zone to take the penalty.
We'll get back to that in just a second. Rolling to his right, Nielsen going to take off with it and step out of bounds. We got a flag down on the near sideline now. We're going to spot him at the 15. We'll see what the flag's for. It's a sideline warning on Haslett, and that's it. So we say this every week. It is not a yardage assessed penalty on the first infraction. On the second one, it would be a 5-yard penalty. To answer your question, Glenn, this is why it's a spot foul in the NFL. That exact line of reasoning. Because you absolutely can just, if a guy has you beat, grab him by the arm. It's a smart play to make in college and high school. If a guy's going to beat you deep over the top, grab him. The pass interference is way better to give up than the 80-yard touchdown. Offset pistol power right. Tommy Pratt in motion. Nielsen rolls to his left. We got flags again. There was a lot of motion down there, and it's going to be Williamston who moved first again. Hunter Van Sickler, the guilty party. There was a lot of motion down there. Some Haslett guys were responding to Van Sickler's motion. Van Sickler was the one who moved first. 9:34 to go. Playing some Army football out here, by which I mean we're going back and forth, back and forth. That's a joke from my childhood. I don't know if anybody even gets that joke anymore. Second and 12, ball on the 20-yard line. 9:34 to go, third quarter. Hornets trying to tie the game on this trip. Offset pistol power right. Tommy Pratt in motion. They're going to give it to Pratt on the jet sweep to the short side. Pratt waiting patiently for the blocks to develop. There's not a lot of room for him, and he's bumped out of bounds. Inside the 20, at what appears to be about the 18-yard line. They'll spot him at the 19, gain of a yard. Third down and 11 now.
That was a great job there from the Vikings defense to spread the Hornets out long, remove the option of catching that corner and forcing him out.
Yep, that's what you try to do on those stretch plays as a defender. Just string out the play, use the sideline as your friend. Don't give him a cutback lane, and don't let him find the corner. Just keep the play stringing out to the sideline. Eventually, he runs out of real estate. Williamson does love to run those to the short sideline, try to keep defenses honest. That time, the Vikings did a really good job defending it. Third and 11, ball on the 19. Nielsen takes the snap. Dumps it off in the flat on a screen. It's caught by Smith after the deflection. He spins away, still on his feet. Flag comes in, back at the 26-yard line. What's this going to be for? This could be any number of things. Smith somehow managed to stay on his feet, ended up losing 7 yards on the play. We'll see what the flag is for.
It's going to be on the Hornets. Coach Thomas said they're accepting it. Oh, declining it. Sorry. The Haslett Vikings declined that penalty. It'll be 4th and 19 from the Williamston, 4th and 15 from the Williamston 31-yard line.
The line the gain is all the way down at about the 7. And they're at their own 20, or they're at the Haslett 26-yard line.
26, I can't count.
So 19 yards to the line. It'd be about a 43-yard kick from here. I don't know if you necessarily want to try to give Adam Gaudreau that kind of a look here. 4 receiver set, trips to the right. They're going to leave the offense out there. Nielsen in the pistol. Haslett fans getting loud. Nielsen takes a snap, rolls to his right, spins back to his left. Stepping up, flag down again. Nielsen chucks it deep, end zone, touchdown. Williamson scores, but there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. This very well could come back.
It most certainly will. I believe it's going to be holding on number 69, Kenny Kilgren, the right tackle. I believe he held Asher Newman. That was a heck of a play from the youngster, getting through the line of scrimmage and forcing the QB rush.
No one celebrating over on the Williamson sideline. Would have been Andrew Kirsten. They're going to get Vinny Heinrichs. And we're going to back it up again and replay 4th down. And now it's 4th down and from here back to town. Ball on the 36-yard line.
That penalty almost puts them out of field goal. I mean, it does put them out of field goal range.
That penalty puts you almost in punt range. They might send the punt unit out here instead of trying to convert this 4th down and 29.
I mean, Tommy Pratt's good enough that he can cough and corner a punt in this situation.
They've got the offense out there. 4 receivers set, trips to the right. Nielsen takes the snap. Vikings rush forward. Nielsen under heavy pressure, rolling back around to his left, stepping up. Nielsen chucks it, drilled as he threw it incomplete. He got hit hard. Asher Newman hit him really hard as he let that one go. Incomplete pass, and the Vikings get the stop.
Asher Newman's one of 2 sophomores on this team, and both of them make plays. John Q. Thomas and Newman have both made terrific plays so far in this game for the Vikings.
So the Vikings, with a 7-point lead, take over on downs at their own 36-yard line.
You can see Newman's getting hyped up by Isaiah Mims, the D-line coach. Give him a big old bear hug after making that rush and QB hit. What a play from the young kid.
Got an update from the end of the 3rd quarter. St. John's trailing 26-10 against Mason. It looks like the Bulldogs are on their way to a big win to stay undefeated in the CAAC Red. On the give over the right side. Big hole for Cornelius Malone. Throwing defenders over midfield. Haslett playing with an energy right now that the Hornets aren't matching. 1st and 10 at the Williamston 46 with 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Give to the deep back. Amakri trying to bounce it outside. He's going to be met and dropped for a loss of a yard. Hornets defense knows how important a stop is on this drive. They're already down by 7, and you do not want to get into a track meet with the Vikings where you have to match them touchdown for touchdown. You want to keep this a 7-point game. Ball on the 47 to the left. Malone, the in-facing tight end. This high snap for Lardy. Throws over the middle. It's caught up at the 40. And dragging a man all the way to the line to gain is Colton Clark. Gain of 12 and a 1st down. Colton Clark, not a name we've heard a lot of this season for Haslett. definitely a complementary piece in this offense, but he's had some key catches tonight. 3 catches for 27 yards and a big first down right there. 7 1/4 to go in the third. Heavy pistol. The give. Clark up the left side, going to get hit and dropped to the 32-yard line. Big hit. Gain of 3 on the play. Tackle made by Keener. Under 7 to go now. In the third quarter, Vikings up 7. 2nd and 8 at the 33. Give left side. Amakari gets up to the 30, pushes the pile down to about the 27-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Haslett's offense is moving. 3rd and short here. Expect another handoff to one of the many guys in the backfield that can take the rock.
Yeah, you've got options here if you're the Vikings, and I think that's something that they've been doing intentionally, both to keep the Hornets offense and also, or to keep the Hornets honest and also to keep Amakari fresh. Going to give right side, 1st down and more, inside the 25 down to the 23, goes Cornelius Malone, gain of 4. But yeah, Amakari, he had 13 carries in the first half. He's had 4 in the first half of the third quarter. A heavy workload, but not a mammoth one. And I think that's something the Vikings are aware of. They want to keep him fresh as the season wears on, as these important games down the stretch come up. Handoff Amakari, right side, going to get hit and dropped. No gain on the play. Miles Keener getting in there again.
Great job there by the Hornets, stringing out that play. That takes the whole team to reduce Amakari to that 1-yard gain. They string him out, force him out, take away the corner, force him to make a cut inside into Miles Keener. Great play from the Hornets.
Trevor DeVries in there as well. 3 receivers for the Vikings on 2nd and a long 9. Play action thrown over the middle, incomplete. That's good coverage out there. And the flag comes in very late. Andrew Kirsten met Colton Clark with the football. Referee on the near sideline throwing a flag very late. I don't know what this is going to be for. Oh, it's going to be a sideline warning on Haslett, it looks like.
And that'll be the second one. They're going to move back here.
First time we've seen a sideline warning actually get enforced for yardage this season, if that is the case. Wait for Cody McDaniels. So instead, it'll be ineligible man downfield, and it will be declined by the Hornets.
Coach Thomas getting field goal hot. Watch for Jackson Shaddicker here if Haslett does not convert on this 3rd down play.
This is in his range. Saw him hit a 43-yarder to send it to overtime. Play action, rolling right. Lardy, he lost the football, and Williamston's got it. 1st down, Hornets.
That was almost.
It looked like Lardy might have had his hand coming forward. Referee's going to say that it was an empty hand, that he got hit, and the ball came out before the arm came forward. And what a defensive stop for the Hornets. Miles Keener fell on the loose football, and the Hornets get a crucial stop. Defense coming up big, and now the offense will have another chance to try to tie this football game. Three receivers for Nielsen in the pistol. Give up the middle, and there's a big hole for Joe Smith. Breaks it out over midfield down to the 48-yard line, and finally Joe Smith with a 19-yard scamper and a 1st down. Also, I want to make a correction. I keep thinking that it's Jackson Shaddicker who hit the game-tying field goal in the Mason game. It was Mason who kicked the game-tying field goal, and I keep thinking in my head it was Shaddicker. Shaddicker does have a long of 44 this season, though, so that kick would have been within his range. Had Haslett been able to hold on to the football. 3 receivers set. Nielsen gives to Smith, and this time he's going nowhere. Loss of 3, maybe 4, back at the 49-yard line.
Zach Curtis making the huge play from that strong side end position. Beat his man and did a great job penetrating in there and dropping him for a loss of 4.
Second down and 14 now for the Hornets back at their own 48-yard line. 4.5 to go in the third quarter. This year, the MHSAA is celebrating a century of sports. Help celebrate 100 years of the MHSAA by visiting them online. See exclusive content about the people, places, and things that make school sports so special. Rivalries, records, and remembering some of the state's top players. Relive it all at MHSAA.com. Thank you to everyone who has been a part of a century of sports. Hornets hurrying up to the line now, 4:10 to go third quarter. They're going to split Smith out as a receiver in trips to the right. Nielsen takes the snap. Deep ball, left side, wants Van Sickler, incomplete, overthrew him. Good coverage out there by John Q. Thomas. That'll bring up third down and long. Hornets trying to stretch the field, but these Vikings corners not giving an inch in man coverage on the outside. Hornets have just not been able to get anything going down the field. Miles Keener, 43-yard reception, their only chunk play through the air, and that came on a little slant pattern that he turned into a big play after the catch. 3:59 to go in the third quarter. Four receivers. Nielsen takes the snap. Rush comes. Throws right side, incomplete. They weren't setting up a screen. The rush just came in. Incomplete pass.
I mean, that's Asher Newman again in there forcing the rush.
Intended for, I believe, Jackson Nicolopoulos, and now the punt unit comes on once again for the Hornets. It's been a defensive third quarter. Tommy Pratt will send this one away. Back deep to return, I believe that's Robert Smith. Pratt puts his foot into it. High, shorter kick. Smith calls for a fair catch and makes it inside the 20 at the 19. You heard the oh from the Haslett sideline. A little too close for comfort on that reception for Smith. 33-yard punt, no return for Tommy Pratt. And the Vikings will start at their own 18-yard line. The Robert Dowden Group spends a lot of time working in different communities, but the message is always the same. The housing market is hot, it's complicated, and it's complex. So what can you do? Work with a real estate professional who is patient, understanding, and dedicated to working with you, not through you. That real estate agent is Mid-Michigan's own Robert Dowding at Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying, selling, or unsure of what to do next, the Robert Dowden Group will take the time to help you achieve your next step. Find them on Facebook at the Robert Dowden Group, or call them at 517-853-6390. That's 517-853-6390. Under 4 to go in the third. 21-14 Vikings. Heavy pistol. Lardy, handoff. 22-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. And now as we reach the final 16 minutes of this football game, this is where you're going to see who's going to win the battle in the trenches. It's been a long night. Both offenses have run a lot of plays. Defenses start to wear down. You got a couple of big bruising backs out here. We'll see which front seven can stack up. Handoff over the left side. Cutting it back over the 30. Got some room down to the 35-yard line. Goes Colton Clark on the carry. Gain of 12. He's becoming an important piece in this Vikings offense. Clock moving. 3 1/4 to go in the third. 21-14 Vikings in front. Another power pistol set. One fullback on either side of Lardy. Takes the snap. Give. Right side of Mockery up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. 3 minutes to go in the third. A little slow to get up is Zach Kaleza. favoring his right foot a little bit. He remains out there. Dontrell Dennis, the lone receiver, split deep to the left. Handoff. Clark cuts it up over the 40 to the 43-yard line. Gain of a couple. That'll bring up third down and a long 2, and now we've got a Hornet down. So we'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching Haslett and Williamston on LansingTV12.com. Welcome back to Williamston. That was Zach Caleza, who seemed a little gimpy on the previous snap, getting looked at, and he'll walk off the field under his own power. We just got an update in from the PW Fowler game. Fowler pulls off the upset, 14-11 at home against Pewamo Westphalia. In a crucial game in the CMAC. Crucial game here in the CAAC Red. 3rd and a long 2. Heavy pistol, the give, a mockery up the gut. Going to get hit and dropped at the line to gain. Let's see where they spot him. I think he got it. Depends on the spot, and yes, they will give him the first down. Gain of 2, but 2 is all he needed.
I mean, it's so hard to stop that. When Haslett goes into this full house pistol, it is almost certainly going to be a run. And there's so many guys you can give that ball to. You can give it to Clark, you can give it to Cornelius Malone, or you can give it to Corey Amakari as the deep setback. And all of those options are great options, and it works for the Vikings out that time.
Ball on the 46. 3 receivers set for the Vikings now. Lardy takes the snap out of the shotgun, gives to Amakari on the option. Amakari rumbles to the 49, gain of 3 on the play. It's a busy Friday night. Mid-Michigan football fans, Michigan State and Oregon also playing tonight. We have a Viking down now. This has been a hard-hitting game. Got a Viking down near midfield, and he'll actually jump up to his feet. Jacob Otke now walking off the field. Favoring that right hand, it looks like. He'll get looked at on the sideline. Zach Curtis. Looks like he's going to be getting some reps at tight end now. 1:38 to go in the 3rd. 2 receivers, 2nd and 6. Lardy, Amakari gets the first down over the 45, down to the 44-yard line. They're going to spot him right at the line to gain. Looks from up here like he got it. And they will move the chains. 1:25 to go in the 3rd. Hornets defense came up with with a fumble recovery, on the last possession. Will they need a similar stop as the Vikings enter Hornets territory here at the 44-yard line? Give a mockery right side, going to get tripped up and dropped at the 43-yard line, gain of just a yard. 2nd down and 9 as we approach the 1-minute mark in this 3rd quarter. Two receivers set to the right for the Vikings. Lardy in the gun, Amakari standing next to him. Hornets show blitz, here they come. They give it to Malone on the trickery inside the 30 down to the 20-yard line. And a flag is down back at the 42. Cornelius Malone, they've been finding ways to get him the football. As it stands, a 25-yard run, but a holding is going to bring it back. It's the 6th accepted penalty on Haslett tonight. And, man, they seem to come at the worst possible time for the Vikings. They get a big play, it comes back, offense or defense. You know Brad Thomas is going to lecture his guys about that at some point this week, win or lose. That'll put them back at their own 47, looking at 2nd and 19.
Let me tell you, he won't do lecturing. He might yell at them for about 20 minutes in film. But on Monday, they will run a lot. And for far. And for speed. They will run.
Play action, deep ball, wide open, Colton Clark, and Lardy couldn't hit him. Colton Clark would have walked into the end zone. Lardy couldn't find him, and another flag is down. Haslett up by 7, but these mistakes are just going to make things much harder for them. Is this supposed to be another sideline warning? We'll see what the call is. Last time it was ineligible man downfield, so they haven't gotten their second sideline warning yet. That might be what this is. Wait for the call from... Nope, another ineligible man downfield. And they'll decline it the second time in a row that the Vikings will have an ineligible man downfield penalty declined by the Hornets. 3rd and 19, ball on the 47-yard line. Line to gain is the Williamston 34. Hornets front 4 are going to pin their ears back. Let's see if they send anybody else. They do, sending 5. Lardy throws, left side, got a man up at the 41-yard line. Dennis puts his foot in the ground, trying to spin away, stayed on his feet over the 40, and out of bounds at the 38-yard line. That's still a really good play for the Vikings. Gain of 15 is going to give them 4th and 4 instead of 4th and much longer. They'll spot him at the 39, so call it a gain of 14 and 4th and 5 coming up with 17 seconds to go in this third quarter. Here we go, 4th and 5. Big play for the Hornets defense. They need a stop. 2 receivers set to the left for Lardy in the shotgun. Motion man is Colton Clark. Williamston jumped, but they got back. No one responded. That's not offsides. Lardy wants the call. And I think he's going to take timeout. He will. Timeout Haslett. They're second of the half. That's not offsides. Even though Peter Jones jumped into the neutral zone, he jumped back on his side of the field, and no Vikings player responded by entering the neutral zone. If they had responded, if they had reacted to him entering the neutral zone by moving themselves, then it would have been called. But a defensive player can be in the neutral zone as long as an offensive player doesn't respond or the ball isn't snapped. So maybe a missed opportunity there for the Vikings. When you see a guy jump, you'll see guys jump in response and start pointing to try to get the call, and they would have there on that one. Everyone saw Peter Jones jump. But it'll remain 4th and 5. Let's see what Brad Thomas has up his sleeve coming out of the timeout. Colton Clark. Split out to the left. Dontrell Dennis split to the right. Lardy in the shotgun, takes the snap, going to throw it. Rolls to his right under heavy pressure. Peter Jones going to hit him. It is incomplete. Peter Jones got a piece of him. The ball was underthrown for Cornelius Malone because of the contact, and the Hornets defense comes through again. They bend, they don't break. And the Hornets offense will get another chance to tie this football game. "12 seconds to go in the third quarter. Follow Great Lakes Christian College on LansingTV12.com. Showcased on Soccer Saturdays this fall. Catch all the NCCAA action from anywhere on any device. Mid-Michigan's own Great Lakes Christian College Soccer for free on Lansing TV 12, and as always on the archive as well. 3 receivers. Nielsen in the gun. Gives to Smith, a flea flicker, deep ball down the middle. It's intercepted by Dontrell Dennis at his own 29-yard line. The flea flicker does not work. Dontrell Dennis gets to play center field and picks it off at his own 29-yard line. That's the second time that he's intercepted a pass on the first play of a Hornets drive. And the Hornets defense is going, you got to be kidding me. We got to do that again. Dontrell Dennis, 2 interceptions, a defended pass, 3 receptions, and no catches for Tommy Pratt. Dennis has been on fire tonight, maybe his best performance ever. This will be the final play of the third quarter. Handoff, a mockery up to the 30-yard line, gain of 2. And that will take us to the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching MHSAA football on LansingTV12.com.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason Hometown Realtors.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Fourth quarter time here in Williamston. The Hornets with their backs against the wall for the season and for this game. Down by 7. The Haslett Vikings trying to drive a dagger through their hearts with the football. Dontrell Dennis doing everything he can to win this game for the Vikings. He needs his offense to pick it up here. The give, a mockery, right side, breaking tackles over the 35, out over the 40, spinning away for another man down the sideline to the 48-yard line. Corey, a mockery gain of 17. Think that guy's going to play football on Saturdays?
I mean, K2's making huge plays out here. That is a terrific play from a mockery to break that second and third tackle to bust out and get about 10 more yards after that.
That run puts him over 200 yards for the game. "26 carries. Handoff left side, Colton Clark. They've been using him as a spell back tonight. He'll pick up 3 yards. And Clark has been really good as that spell for a mockery. He's got 4 carries for 20 yards as well as 3 receptions for 27. They've been working him in as a complementary piece of this offense, and it's going very well. 2nd down and 6. Ball on the Williamston 49. Right side, a mockery, breaking through the line over the 40, inside the 30. Excuse me, that's Cornelius Malone, all the way inside the 30. Where are they going to spot him? Down at the 18-yard line, gain of 31. Cornelius Malone has entered the chat. He's also having a really solid game for this offense. 59 yards on 7 carries for Malone. That's his biggest of the night. The give, a mockery around the right side. That time they're going to string him out to the sideline very effectively. No gain on the play.
Yeah, great job there by the Hornets defense. Stringing out a mockery. That's basically the most effective way that they've stopped him tonight is by forcing him on those outside zone plays to run him out of bounds. That's the best way that they've found to stop him so far. And even then, he still got back to the line.
Quarter. 7-point game for the Vikings. Heavy pistol, give left side, a mockery breaking through inside the 10, still rumbling, big hit inside the 5-yard line. He held on to the football somehow, gain of 16. He smacked him. I don't know who hit him. I think that might have been Tommy. Was that Eston Thorburn who hit him? Quick handoff up the left side, a mockery spinning into the end zone, touchdown Haslett. The Hornets defense couldn't stop him that time. 71-yard touchdown drive for the Vikings, and they open up a 2-score lead with 10:29 to go in the fourth quarter.
I just want to shout out Thornburn there. That was a murderous hit he put on Corey Mockery to stop him from getting in the end zone on the play before the touchdown.
Jackson Shadaker extra point. Snap good, spot down, kick is up. And it's good. Shadaker's 2 for 3.
Sorry. I just want to show Williamston's PAT block unit, the best I've seen in the CAC Red for a while. They put so much effort into that. Usually you see teams get lazy on that side. They just think the PAT doesn't matter. They sell out, and they got a fingertip on that ball. They were close to making a block there.
Do you need customized apparel? Red Cedar Transfer specializes in both custom apparel and transfers. They understand the importance of community and collaboration and are a place where you can explore a diverse selection of apparel designs that are both trendy and timeless. Whether you're looking for a statement piece or a classic staple, they have something for everyone. Committed to making the custom order process simple and convenient for everyone, the goal at Red Cedar Transfers is to exceed your expectations and deliver products that you'll love. Learn more at redcedartransfers.com. Make your gift-giving an experience and not just a chore on a checklist. Keen's Store Company in downtown Mason has wonderful and unique gifts for everyone on your list, and a store that will bring back memories while making new ones. With 2 floors of unique items, every corner has something worth treasuring. Open 7 days a week. You can visit them at any time. 10:29 to go. Fourth quarter. Vikings in front by 14. Trying to hold on. Hornets offense has been stagnant in this second half. The Vikings have snuffed them out. See if they can do it again. Kick is away. Fielded by Smith at his own 11-yard line. Smith up over the 20 and down to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Hornets will take over with 10:23 to go in this fourth quarter. We will see what the Williamston offense can do. Only 47 yards of offense here in the second half and 2 interceptions. Dontrell Dennis, he's been a menace.
He should also play Saturday ball. Dontrell Dennis is that good at corner.
He's certainly making a case for himself tonight. He has been lights out for this Vikings defense. Ball on the 25-yard line as the Williamston Hornets offense takes the field once again. 3 receivers set. Nielsen takes the snap. Give to Smith. Smith lowers the shoulder over the 20 down to the 30, over the 30 with a 31-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Call it a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 with 10:08 to go here in the fourth. Williamson let a lot of time run here. I don't know if you have the luxury of letting this clock run down by 2 scores. Two receivers set to the left. The evening chill rolling in here in Williamston. One receiver to the right. Nielsen takes the snap. Give Smith up the middle. Nothing. Now the Hornets have killed about a minute off of this clock on just 2 plays. The clock's still moving. Hornets have all 3 timeouts. They took the ball with about 10:30 left in the fourth quarter, and they're about to snap the 3rd play of this drive at the 9-minute mark of the 4th. 3 receivers. Nielsen in the pistol. Takes the snap. Play action. Rolls to his left. Has Peter Jones underneath, and he just missed him. Incomplete. Threw it over his head. Jones couldn't get his hands on it. It's 4th down, and you got to leave the offense on the field here if you're the Hornets. $8:50 to go in the 4th. Vikings defense putting on a clinic in this second half. Hornets offense not been able to get anything going. And now with 8:50 to go, I think it's safe to say that you've got to have this if you're the Hornets. Getting guys loud on the sideline, Miguel Martinez. 4 receivers for Williamston, trips to the left. The snap, they're rushing 4. Nielsen steps up, looking, directing traffic, throws deep. He's wide open, and he's got him inside the 20. Williamston has life. Touchdown. Hunter Van Sickler, 69 yards.
So much for them not using their clock right, Colton. That is all you need. That one huge play. There's a flag down on the field.
Flag down on the far sideline. I have no idea what this is for. I didn't see when it came down.
Might be a Williamston sideline warning.
It's just a sideline warning on Williamston there first. The result of the play is a touchdown, and the Hornets are alive. They desperately needed something. Caleb Nielsen doing his best Patrick Mahomes impression, just staying alive, directing traffic, and just heaves it downfield. Hunter Van Sickler comes up with a huge play. The Hornets go 75 yards and are an extra point away from a 7-point game. Snap good, spot down, kick is up. It's good. And just like that, we've got a ball game. 8:37 to go in the 4th, 28-21. You're watching LansingTV12.com. On the road and in a hurry, but don't want the hassle or guilt of fast food? Instead of the drive-thru, get good food fast at Fabiano's Grocery and Deli at the corner of Wacusta and Grand River Roads. Stop in for the pizza slices that are made with fresh dough and sauce every single day. It's a great place to stop in, even for breakfast. They have an amazing breakfast pizza with cheese, eggs, and bacon. For a couple of dollars in a couple of minutes, get yourself the handmade meal you deserve at Fabiano's Grocery and Deli, Grand River and Wacusta, in Grand Ledge. So the Williamston Hornets, 47 yards of offense before that drive. They find 69 yards on a single play to bring this game back within 7. We'll see what the Haslett Vikings can do now. Their student section has been raucous tonight. Vikings tend to travel well. They got the road crew. Everyone in their bright yellow and orange neons down and to our left. You've probably heard them at different points tonight. So now it's the Vikings offense's turn. A touchdown, a fumble, a turnover on downs, and a touchdown on their last 4 drives. So been really hit or miss for the Vikings on offense tonight.
I have a question for you, Colton. Do you remember which team disguised their deep coverage where they moved their actual returners up into the upbacks? I can't remember who did that.
I don't remember either.
But I think it might have been Mason did that in the playoffs last year.
That sounds like a Mason thing.
I'm surprised Haslett hasn't started to look into that, moving up their returners and disguising their coverage looks.
Well, they do have John Q. Thomas and Dontrell Dennis standing at about the 21, 25-yard line. So if you're trying not to kick it to those guys, you're literally going to have to kick it about 15 yards down the field. It's going to end up with them eventually. 8:37 to go as Goudreau gets ready to kick this one away for the Hornets, down by 7. Hits this one deep. They're going to let a Mockery return this, and we got flags and whistles.
False start. It's got to be false start there, right?
Usually they don't blow it dead for an offsides on the kicking team. Usually they tack it onto the end of the kick. But it will be offsides on the Hornets. Drew Davis. And that'll back up the kicking unit by 5 yards. As far as I remember, they usually do. Maybe it's different in high school. I'm going to repeat the question because Glenn asked. He's a producer up here with us manning the camera tonight. He asked why they didn't play through that. Why they didn't just let it play out and then tack on the 5 to the return. And at most levels, they do. I wonder, I haven't seen that before in high school. It's my first time seeing that. Maybe it's different in high school. But in the NFL, for example, they would just tack that on. They wouldn't blow it dead for offsides on a kick return. 8:36 to go. Goudreau, short run up, going to squib this one. It bounces around. It pings off of Thomas's face mask. And it's fielded by Colton Clark at the 32-yard line. That thing took a gnarly hop. That took an onside kick type hop off the face mask of Jonquavian Thomas.
That was like 30 yards downfield. How did it bounce like that?
I don't know, man. Adam Goudreau, he spit on that ball. I don't know exactly how that happened.
Like I know it's an egg shape and it's not really like bounces right. The football's bounce is weird, but that
football took a gnarly hop.
It was so fast.
But Colton Clark aware and falls on the football. Man, has he had a good game tonight or what? He's just been present and active and making good plays. Those are the kind of guys you need for a team to be successful. Hand off. Sticking his foot in the dirt and turning it up. Field is Malone. He's up to the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 7 on the run.
You want to say being aware and in the game, Colton Clark lead blocking there, took on Miles Keener and popped him in the hole. And he got him down on the ground. It was because Keener tripped, but he was still getting blocked. That was a blow to Keener, and he looks a little shaken up from that.
If you can find a way to get Miles Keener away from your ball carrier, that's going to help you a lot. Miles Keener is one of the best tacklers we've ever seen in this area at the high school level. So if you can find a way to remove him from the play, you're doing something really right. 7:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Heavy pistol again to give a Mockery. He's going to be wrapped up and dropped in the backfield. That's a loss of a yard. I believe that was Matt Dion who got in there.
Stephen Bush,
excuse me, it was 3-9. Stephen Bush got in there and made the play. Loss of 1 for a Mockery, and now it's third down, 4 yards to the sticks. 7:25 to go. Another heavy pistol, 1 receiver in the formation, Lardy, and another whistle, another flag. These coaches are going to lose their minds in film study with these teams this week. Never mind, it's a timeout called by Williamston. Williamston calls a timeout. There was a flag down, but whatever it was, the timeout got called before the infraction. So 3rd and 4. We're going to send it away just for a moment. We'll be right back. This is Lance.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason Hometown Realtors.
All right, welcome back to Williamston. It has been some night. (28-21), 7-17 to go in the fourth quarter. Big 3rd and 4 coming up. If the Hornets defense can get off the field and give their offense one more shot in a crucial game with massive playoff implications for both teams. Lardy in the gun, takes the snap, the handoff, Amakari up the middle, gonna get hit, gets over the line to gain, up to the 44-yard line. Amakari just lowers his helmet, charges ahead. He's such a hard guy to bring down. And with 7:08 to go, Haslett moves the chains and keeps the clock moving. Who do you trust in this spot? Corey Amakari. That's the answer. He's your guy. Handoff, Amakari up the middle over the 45 to the 46-yard line. Only a gain of 2 that time.
I love this new addition to the Haslett offense. That full house look is game changer for them because that is really what they should be using Corey Amakari for. He's such a great downhill back. He will get you at least 3 yards on every play. I love this new pistol look that the Vikings are bringing out tonight.
32 carries, about 225 yards for Amakari. All night I've been thinking surely they're going to lighten his load at some point. Surely they're going to spell him more. But they just keep giving him the rock. And honestly, it makes sense in games like these important games. He's the guy you want to give the ball to. Lardy bobbles the snap. Deep ball. Got him in over the top. It's Dennis. Did he catch that? He did! There's no way! Dontrell Dennis lost his helmet and one-handed that as he fell to the ground.
Illegal man downfield for the Vikings.
And it comes back again. You're kidding me. Dontrell Dennis made one of the best plays you'll ever see a high school football player make. This man is doing everything, and somehow the Vikings commit another illegal man downfield penalty. Unbelievable.
RPO is hard, especially when you are so much of the P. Like, you can either run pass option or you just run the ball, and the Vikings have chosen to run the ball almost the whole game, so they're getting great downfield blocking. The problem is when you have these deep developing passes, it doesn't work. Your linemen are already 7 yards downfield. That time, Greg Miles was at the line to game. He did a great job on his block, and it just didn't work out.
2nd down, the handoff, Amakari, right side, breaks a tackle, up over midfield, still going, inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 20, and they get it all right back. Oh, my goodness. What a recovery from the Vikings offense. Still don't have as much as they would have on that previous play, but they do get the 1st down. They overcome the penalty, and they'll keep this clock moving.
I mean, you have to feel bad for Dontrell Dennis there. That would have been a heck of a replay for him if it counted.
It's still a replay. It's on tape. That counts to some extent. It's on tape. Another heavy pistol here for Lardy. 5.5 and rolling. Takes the snap. The give to Colton Clark around the right side. Turns the corner. Down the sideline. Up over the 30. Down close to the line to gain. They'll spot him at about the 24-yard line. They're going to say he got it. Gain of 12 on the run for Clark. 5:24 to go. Clock moving now, approaching 5 minutes left. Haslett offense, happy to be patient. The dream scenario is milking this clock down to the last minute, punching it into the end zone, and going home. Lardy, handoff. Clark, up to the 24-yard line, no gain. Even with Corey Amakari carrying the ball 33 times tonight, the Vikings have been efficient enough with their other backs, Colton Clark and Cornelius Malone, that you have to respect them. And because you have to respect them, you can't just tee off on a Mockery as much as you would love to as the Hornets defense. This is a very good offense from the from the Vikings tonight. Handoff, a Mockery up the middle, breaks a tackle inside the 15, inside the 10. Corey Mockery, house call, touchdown Vikings.
That's an old school Haslett formation there, and it worked. Great job from the Vikings offense.
This man has something in the range of 275 rushing yards tonight. Corey Mockery is just different, man.
Ashton Genty type numbers? What?
And he's not even done it on like one big carry. His biggest carry of the night was 41 yards on the first play that he got the football. He has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 10-plus yard runs, 4 20-plus yard runs, and now 3 touchdowns. Jackson Shadicker's extra point is good. And that might be the dagger.
I don't see how it's not, Colton. We know we're with a forever optimist up here in our producer, Glenn Dudisick, but 4 minutes, how these offenses are run, it'll be a tough deal to do.
Well, if you're the Hornets, here's how you do it. Here's your path if you're the Hornets. You need to score quickly. You don't have a choice. You need to score as quickly as possible, and then you line up for an onside kick. If you get it, great. You've got to. If you don't get it, don't take any timeouts on this first drive. If you take timeouts on this first drive, it becomes necessary to get the onside kick. If you can score quickly, say in the first minute and a half, and you onside kick with 2:30 to go, even if you don't get it, you can still theoretically get a stop with 2 timeouts. You can call 2 timeouts. They'll run about a minute and 20 or so off the clock, sure, but they won't be able to run the clock completely dead without getting a first down. You at least give yourself a shot. That's the path if you're the Hornets. That's the route you have to take if you're going to win this football game. It's a tough route, but that's the route. And that means that everything has got to be up-tempo. Everything has got to be at speed.
Yeah, this is a forever 1-minute drill. You have 1 minute, and you act like you have 0 timeouts. That's basically how you win this game.
The Haslett Vikings dominated on the ground tonight. And as things stand, it's going to be enough. But we'll see what the last 409 has in store. Jackson Shadicker sends it on its way. Tommy Pratt has been real quiet tonight. He's over the 20, angling outside, and they got him at the 20-yard line. The Williamston Hornets put so much of their offense into Tommy Pratt. In the first half, he had 4 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown because that is the only way they could feed him the football with Dontrell Dennis shadowing him all game. In the second half, he has 1 carry for 1 yard, 2 targets the whole night, both in the first half. Dontrell Dennis has had one of the best games you will see a high school football player have, even if the stat sheet isn't lit up. You know, he has 2 interceptions, and that's going to immediately grab some attention, but he's been elite tonight. Nielsen throws over the middle. It's caught. There's Tommy Pratt up over the 35-yard line.
To your point, Dennis hasn't been on him since early in the second quarter. They have moved Pratt from his normal receiver position the farthest out. He's not that wide out anymore. He has been being played man coverage by the other Dennis brother.
You're talking about Darius Dennis.
Yeah, Darius Dennis. Sorry. Darius Dennis
Number
has
10.
been doing a great job in that slot corner position, locking Tommy Pratt up or giving it to Jonathan Smith over top. Those 2 guys have silenced Pratt for basically 3 quarters now.
Robert Smith on the tackle there. 4 receivers, 3:57 to go. Trips to the right. They kick Smith out into the slot on the right side. Nielsen takes the snap. Haslett rushing 4. Nielsen dumps it off, little screen. That's Peter Jones. He lost the football loose on the ground, and Haslett's got it at the 41-yard line, and that's going to do it. Peter Jones made the catch. Lost the handle as he went to the ground. Haslett recovers. And the Vikings are going to win this football game.
The Williamston Bluebirds come out. They think Joe or whoever the receiver was down before that ball came out.
I don't think he was. It was close.
I don't think he was either.
I
don't think he was either.
Thinking that he was, but from where I'm standing up here, it looks like he lost that football.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I just wanted to point out these Williamston fans are still into this game.
Ball on the 40-yard line. And the Haslett Vikings are going to go to 3-3, 3-1 in the CAAC Red. But unless something changed in that Mason game, they're not likely to have a shot at the CAAC Red title. Handoff right side. Amakri picks up a couple. Clock moving, 3.5 to go. Heavy pistol again. Clock down to 3 minutes. Up the gut. Amakri carries over the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. That will keep the clock rolling. We have a final from Mason St. John's. The Bulldogs pull away and beat St. John's 40-10. So Mason will remain undefeated in CAAC Red play. Our producer Glenn Dudisick telling us that we should have Mason Fowlerville next week. Home game for Mason. That'd be the last opportunity for the Bulldogs to lose a CAAC Red clash. Handoff left side, Amakri outside over the 30 and slides out of bounds at the 26-yard line, but he got that first down, and that's what matters.
To be honest, talking about that Mason Fowlerville game next week, I think the Bulldogs are probably going to be heavily favored in that one. I believe the Bulldogs will be heavily favored in that game next week. As we were talking about that Fowlerville game, Fowlerville, I mean, you never know what can happen. It's October. Football's weird. You never know when upsets will happen, but these Bulldogs just seem so consistent in CAC Red play. And then apparently we're getting from our producer, we'll be at the Mason Walled Lake Western game the week after that. Huge couple Mason games coming up. That Walled Lake Western game, we saw them play twice last year, one in the district final. Mason comes ahead in both times there. Those will be 2 great games to watch and listen to in the next coming weeks.
295 yards on the ground for Corey Amakri tonight. Just unreal. $38 carries for him tonight. He's deep set here with 1:30 to go. Lardy, the give. Amakri going to be met in the backfield and dropped for a loss of 2.
Can we talk about one thing here real quick? Eric Lardy's game management skills have been terrific this game. He has gotten these plays out. He has, delivered the ball where it's supposed to go in this confusing Haslett offensive system. Lardy's had a great job, and we really haven't called his name much tonight.
Williamston, it appears, has called their second timeout. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the Lansing Herald Media Group. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and the Lansing Herald Media Group. You can always watch the archive. I believe the archive is lansingherald.com. Is that where the archive is? Or is it? It is lansingtv12.com. So lansingtv12.com, you can go catch the archive, all of the games that we've done this year.
Don't you just love good football?
I do love good football. We should see some more as this season winds down. We got 3 weeks left I believe that we got Mason the next 2 weeks. You and I do.
Yes.
We're going to have Mason at home against Fowlerville, and then we're going to have Mason against Walled Lake Western. And Glenn will be here on the TV 12 call. Williamston will face Detroit Country Day.
That's a great game, too. There's a lot of great games on that Week 8 matchup list. Wow.
Lots of playoff points at stake. Lardy, hands off, a mockery, up the left side, inside the 20, inside the 10, down to the 9.
That's got to put him over 300, right?
I believe that should put him over 300 for the game.
Wow, you have to take him out now,
If my math is right. I'm
that
doing
is
my own
true.
math and my own notes here, but I believe it's 40 carries for 302 yards by my math for Corey Amakari.
I'm surprised the Vikings are keeping him in. That's a heavy workload for anybody.
I think they probably wanted to get him to 300. I think that's why he's in on this drive. I'm imagining they're just going to take the knee here.
Yeah, and they are. And you can see Corey Amakari just being safety. He is playing safety on the offensive side of the ball right now.
Final snap of the game. The Haslett Vikings get the dub on the road in Williamston, 35-21. Keep their CAAC Red title hopes alive. They're going to need Fowlerville to beat Mason next week. For the Williamston Hornets, the free fall continues. They're 1-5. That's going to do it for us tonight. Once again, your final score, Haslett 35, Williamston 21. For all of us at the Lansing Herald Media Group and Talk Lansing, LansingTV12.com. For our producer, Glenn Dudasek, for my partner, Tom Lewandowski, I'm Colton Wesley. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. You have been watching MHSAA football on LansingTV12.com.